Okay, I should be live now? Right, there we go. I am live. Alright, double check the other page as well. Oh wait, why is my camera not working? It was like working like a few seconds ago. Gotta reopen it. Like a few seconds ago. Where the hell is that window? Hey, Shiny Moltrex. Welcome, welcome. I'm just trying to get my model again because it's like it just froze immediately, the camera. For some reason. Hi, Simon. Welcome as well. Okay. And there we go. I'm in position now. Great. Let's get into the game then. I'm just opening my alt right now. You know, actually, I think I got a big brain idea. I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier. But there might be a way I can, like, play Blue Protocol again. If I make a new account and get around everything. It's going fine, right? Like, I got a really interesting idea. What if I just ran it under Linux? Right? Like, I'm pretty sure I could just run the game under Linux, and I could just bypass some of the stuff and use a VPN if I wanted to at the same time. Because they don't have all the checks that they have under Linux. It wouldn't work. Because of the different file system and how it handles various different things. Right? Because like I would be running it under a translation layer, which could probably just get around a lot of their stuff. Probably. At least that's how I think it would work. I'm gonna just do some the join up first. Oh, it's endgame. The problem with virtual machines is, when you're running anything that has graphics acceleration, right? Like any like 3D game or something, you don't have GPU acceleration. Or rather, the one that you do have is pretty Pepega. Like under Linux, there are ways like for consumer graphics cards, at least under Linux, you can do things like force the graphics card to get passed through and kind of work. Right? There is a way to do that, but you need a separate graphics card. Like, that would work. But otherwise, no. Wait, why is my thing not loading? That is weird. There's something going on here. What the hell? I'm gonna open up my library window. Yeah. But, like, yeah, like, you never noticed, like, if you've ever tried messing around with virtual machines, you look at trying to, like, pass the stuff through, so let's say, so you can use your graphics card or whatnot, right? It doesn't really just work. Why isn't my thing loading? Come on. I'm just trying to open my other window, but yeah. Right, because it doesn't have anything to check on the environment the game is running in, thankfully. Thankfully, the morons who worked on it, they didn't put anything to check what operating system and stuff you're running. I mean, yeah, you could also just run it in a virtual machine, right? Yeah, like, you could try to run things in a virtual machine, it's just gonna suck, right? Like, it is just going to suck. This is the nature of how the things work, right? It's not really gonna work nicely. Okay, why isn't my alt loading? It's like it's taking forever. Okay. I'm trying not to kill this too quickly so my ult can get in here. Oh great, this stupid puppet singer disappeared. Yeah, for some reason it's like not loading in. What the hell? Why won't it load into the join op? What's going on? It's just staying at like 99% for some reason. It's just stuck. Which is bizarre. Let me check Task Manager. What's going on? Because usually it'll just work fine. But for some reason the Steam client of the game is just frozen. What the hell? Whatever, I'm just gonna kill this thing. Like, it is just stuck at 99%. Why isn't it loading? Yeah, it just keeps, like, freezing and it's, like, not responding at all. Ah, here we go, trying to open it up again. Like, just for some reason, it just doesn't want to work. I just want to get my ult in here. There we go, this thing is dead. Hi, Grim Moment. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I could probably, like, make a new account, right? And then open it up in, like, for Blue Protocol, and then, like, have it just run on my Steam Deck. And, like, if I was to run a VPN on Linux, they wouldn't be able to detect it. Because the launcher wouldn't know what the hell to look for. Because they'd be expecting to be running under Windows, but there wouldn't be any Windows. It would just be a translation layer. Alright, will my alt load into the join op? Because for some reason it didn't load in. It just kept crashing. Or rather, freezing at 99% on the loading screen. What the hell's going on with it? They looked into more music to play while streaming the Emerald Nuzlocke. Okay. Okay, why isn't it loading in? I tried skimming through the VOD when I banned. Not comp sci, but close. Yeah, you thought you were gonna get banned. But yeah, I think actually it's probably if you were to run a VPN and stuff. I guess the safest way to run it is under Linux. They can't detect your shenanigans there, because they didn't even program stuff into the game. Like an anti-cheat system, because all they're doing is checking where the hell your IP is. I mean, all this stuff is server-side anyways, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like it would actually do anything. Okay, yeah, why isn't my alt loading in? Like, it's just stuck at this screen. And now it's like... Yeah, Tropical Freeze soundtrack, in general seems good. Just be careful though with Nintendo music. You know Nintendo. right? Be careful. Because Nintendo is known for being, you know, Nintendo. So I would just be careful. Alright, let's see if I just open that thing. Yeah, they gotta get ya. Exactly. Alright, why won't my alt load in? Because, like, it works fine when I'm not streaming. You're not streaming on YouTube, so you should be fine. I mean, still, just in case, you know? Right? Just in case. What are you streaming on, though? Yeah, I'm just curious. You tried Soul and Colton today with Altered Volt. Okay. So how did that go? You realize you have no idea how to play it. To be fair, I don't really have an idea how to play it either. So now I load in. Now it loads me in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just gonna leave that alone. Mm-hmm. I have to get onto my ult. I mean, not my ult, my other account. For some reason, like, it froze when I was trying to load in. Just share screen it. Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. I thought, like, you were gonna go, like, on stream it live or something. You wanna get your visors up the bar. Yeah? That would be nice to have. I wonder if that counted as a clear. Because my ult was just stuck on the... was like, wouldn't load in. But yeah, I think if, like, the way to get around the stupid bullshit that they had in, the protocol there. I haven't gotten anything, no. Unfortunately, I haven't really gotten anything. I don't think it counted because it froze there. Oh, crap. That's annoying. I have to go through it again. Because it didn't count, because it froze before the last boss was killed. Okay. Why did it freeze on the loading thing? That usually doesn't happen. I know for a fact I don't have the NPC on my island because he was there yesterday and he sold nothing but junk. He was actually on both of my islands at the same time. Alright, we're gonna switch perspective to the other account. I'm gonna mute the music first. I'll mute the audio here. I'm gonna switch the view over. I can play my own background music. Right here. That might be a bit loud. Right, I just put the playlist on shuffle. But yeah, I haven't really gotten any upgrades. Unfortunately. Though I haven't really been, like, really looking into rolling the gear. I'm just sitting on stuff. Okay, why is it now stuck on the Fenrir loading? 90%. Audio levels are perfect. Yeah. Honestly, I think I won't even bother until we can get Titan on those pieces too. Like, my visor's fine. Right. But, let me just switch the game preview. But, like, you know what, actually? I just want, like, I think I want, ideally, all my pieces to look like, look the same. Because of Titan gear. Right? Like, I think I want, like, all my pieces to be like my reactor here. Because, hey, it's one size fits all, right? Works for Volt, works for Frost, works for Flame, works for Physical. I don't have to worry. Especially because, like, I wouldn't have to worry about having multiple reactors and multiple of things and transferring them around. So I think I really just want my Titan gear to all look like this. Right, I'd rather have one piece that works for everything. Right, like this reactor is perfect. Because I can just switch it around. I don't even know what the hell my possible stats are for this thing. I don't have any Titan clicks anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, you get the idea. I'd rather just have everything just work. Mm-hmm. Right, we gotta go to the join off again. Because hey, if I can use one thing on everything, I don't have to worry about like other elements or whatever. Really, I'd want that ideally for like every piece of gear. Because then again, like one size fits all. Then I won't have to worry again. Exactly! Not having to worry about gear swapping would be great. Just having one size fits all. Though I'm pretty sure we're getting to the point where percentage stats are a lot better. Right, ideally you want a double elemental percent stat on a piece of gear and have it like roll into them equally or something. Right, I'm pretty sure that's like the ideal. Especially when we're gonna eventually get to level 50 on all the gear pieces here. Right, like that's gonna inevitably happen. Right, like that's inevitably gonna happen. Level 50 gears. Wait, where are my dailies? Let me just claim this first. I have to claim it on my ult too after. What the hell? Why is this thing lagging? Okay, why did my frame rate... What the hell's going on? Oh, is it because I have both menus open? But is Moremia okay? Or is it not okay? Alright, hopefully it'll load in properly. We'll see. Okay, my ult loads in. Okay, now my main's not loading in. What the hell? Why won't my main account load in? Oh great, this is annoying. Why is it when I'm streaming, the other one doesn't work? There, just put... Right, and like now this one's not loading in. What the hell? What's going on now? I should have rebooted my computer, I guess. Something's like causing this thing to go crazy. But I don't know what. I'm trying to figure this thing. Why won't this thing bring my main account in? Which window is it? Yeah, like it's just refusing to respawn. When they both get loaded into an instance. This is annoying. Yeah, I'm just gonna let auto do its thing while I try to get my main account working again. What the hell is running here? That needs to be there. What can I remove? Who's PDF escape running? Don't need that running. Don't need that. That's the OBS browser plugins. What is that? But yeah, I think I should have just rebooted my computer before I started streaming. That probably would have been a good idea. Probably. Because something's not letting me have both my accounts up at the same time. Pretty sure it's not the game related. Wait, why is this running? I don't even... Okay. Well, they cleared it for me. Alright, let me just try booting up my thing again. Because for some reason it's not letting me have them both in there. Yeah, I don't need that running. Alright. Oh, I guess I could do my dailies here first. What are my dailies here? Horror beasts, giant horn rhinos, sand otters, G overcounts. Okay. Alright, let's go take... Okay. So sand otters will be there, horror beasts are over there. Right, I don't think there are any horror beasts in the inners area. But yeah, like on my alt, I've been like too lazy to roll a bunch of gears. So I just like delete all the purple, like the fodder pieces. Eventually I'll actually start rolling some gears. Right, but hopefully though, like, I can get like all my gears when they eventually become Titan gears to be like my reactor. That way, I don't have to worry about gearing ever again. Right, it'll just be the Titan stuff. They are pretty handy. Wait, are the horror beasts up here or are they down below? Oh, they're inside. Alright. See you tomorrow then. Oh, they're like down in here. Alright, let's see if we can find... Oh, there's one. Alright, just killed one. And dive bomb. Just dive bombing. Okay, now my main account will load in. What the hell is going on? Why won't it load? It's just like freezing on the loading screen for some reason. My other account. Which is very, very annoying. Because normally it lets me run the game 2 at a time. Whatever, let's get my other dailies first before I close both clients again. Sand otters, giant rhinos. Okay, let's get the giant rhinos done. Let's see. Because we don't need that taking up space. Why is I don't need Xbox Game Bar. Next. Yes, I want to continue. We'll remove this. Don't need that running. And I sold the Bandai Namco launcher. But yeah, I think there's a way I can like use my Steam Deck to like get around a lot of their bullshit. That horn rhino. There's another one. Oh, there were horror beasts over here too. I should have just gone here. I need another oh, there's a rhino. Alright, that's another thing uninstalled. Now it's like disconnected. Okay. Yep, Valve fixes the Steam Deck multiple controller issues. You couldn't get 2 controllers? You couldn't? I thought it worked before. I remember like one time when I was like, was it when I was like trying East 8 or 9 or something on stream one time? I was able to get like the, I was like, oh, how does the multiplayer thing work? And I tried it. Like with just playing alone. Right? I did it on stream. I remember trying it, it worked. It seemed to connect with my Xbox controller. But yeah, that is weird if it wasn't working. But then again, I did that last year. They might have broken something. Okay, that is weird. That is weird. Right, that is very weird. Pull up game slot 3. Yeah, then I don't know. Right, I have no idea. Sand honors and G overcounts. Okay. We should probably see what the dream machines are first. It was so embarrassing, actually unplayable. Oh. Well, that sucks. Mm-hmm. Alright. I removed the Bandai launcher from my computer now, as I didn't need that running. Yeah, I should disable the Oculus VR service. I'm not even using my Rift. I don't even have this stuff plugged in. And I haven't plugged it in a long, long time. Okay, I don't know what that is. I've seen it, right? I looked into it. I mean, it's cool, right? It runs Windows. The performance, if you don't mind killing the battery in like an hour and running it in 30 watt mode, it's really good, right? But I already have the Steam Deck and I don't really need another thing. But like, there's gonna be more, right? I wonder when like the other stuff is gonna come, right? Like, where's Dell's? Where's the Alienware thing? Where is the Alienware one? I know they have it somewhere because they were working on one before, a prototype, years ago, right? I wonder when Razer will make their own version, right? Because Razer had like the first one. If you're gonna go all the way back to like 2011, 2012 or something, Razer had one more than 10 years ago. Right? Where's that one? Right? And I expect everyone to make one. Yeah, it does have like double the performance, but it also consumes twice as much power. I mean, that's what it costed back then. The Razer's Edge was over $1,000 10 years ago. Right? It was. It existed. Right? They had one over 10 years ago. Right? But yeah, like, we're slowly just having more and more of these guys come into it. Mm-hmm. Challenge raid open. I need to do the challenge raid. Wait for them to fill up. You remember watching one for emulation, but the price was just not good at the time. Yeah, wanting one. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, that's especially what happens when Intel was the only chip maker on the market. So, like, they were just charging whatever the hell they wanted. Right? For what, 7 generations? Their top-end consumer-level part was a quad-core. Because they didn't really have any reason to try. Right? They were like, why bother? They had no competition. They were the only choice. Right? Intel was the only choice. Oculus DK1, you wanted one so bad, but you didn't get the VR headset till much later. I have the CV one. Yeah. But meanwhile, we look at the graphics card market right now. And here's the problem still. It's like, the CPU market, at least, yeah, sure, everyone has choice there, but like the graphics market, it's like, it's still heavily dominated by Nvidia. And Nvidia's just charging whatever the hell they want, right? They don't care what the hell's going on there. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I'd rather as well, like, have it... Like, here's the other thing, right? The better they improve the deck as well, and especially in future iterations, right? If they can push Linux to go a lot further, That would be great for everyone because, especially for these mobile devices, because Windows is pretty papega for like with its power consumption. It's very bloated unnecessarily. Right? Yeah, my alt is just using A0 Rupilia thing. Right, we're just looking at my alt right now because, yeah, I don't really have stuff on my alt. So my damage on this thing is Pepega. Been trying remote play together on Steam since this thing launched? Okay. We never got it to work. Player 2 never sends input. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Advertised feature literally doesn't work. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, at least that's killed. Hopefully the things respawn so I can deal with them again. Alright, I need to get all my dream machines on both of my accounts. Oh yeah, 5 more days. I guess 5 more days until the next patch or something? You actually think you got it to work 1 in every 10 attempts? But only for RetroArch. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, I should really just reboot my computer every time I want to start streaming. That probably would have like fixed a lot of some of my issues. Someone get it working? Okay. And they all run in here so I can kill them all. There we go. I have. I think it'd be better if I just rebooted my computer every time. I used to do that like every once in a while before I went streaming, but I haven't rebooted my computer in like a week. Actually no, the last time I rebooted my computer is when I had the power outage last week. Yeah. I should just reboot it more often before I start streaming. Alright, these guys are dead. We're just gonna go AFK in the corner now. Until the timer runs out. Yeah, once every 2 weeks. I used to just leave it on until it just has to shut off before as well. But I slam it a lot more on my machine ever since I started streaming and stuff. Right? It is what it is. But yeah, we should have the new patch soon, actually. I'm gonna guess we're getting 3.0 next week. Right? It should be like next week or something for 3.0. You try to sleep it more now, then shut it off. You gotta de-dust it. Yeah, I need to clean out the dust in my computer. I haven't dusted my computer like once in like 5 years. There's a lot of dust in there. I really should. Just, it's just that I'm too lazy to like unplug everything, then replug back everything else in there. And then especially because I have the AIO in there, I have to like remove it, clean the dust on both sides, and then screw it back in. That's a pain. Though I don't think it's a thermal issue. Yeah, I haven't really bothered doing that in a long time. I really should. I really should. Right. Hopefully we get the next stream machine will be decent here. Okay. You're scared too? Ever since somebody told me to destroy their GPU or motherboard simply by holding it due to static. How the hell did they do that? It should be fine. The ESD protections they have on modern stuff is pretty good. But yeah, just to be safe, put on an ESD strap, right? And connect it to ground. I have a couple ESD straps, and I just ground myself. And that's it. But yeah, thanks for the follow, Lunok. Right, thanks for following me on Kick. Alright, can we get them to respawn? Oh, I keep forgetting I'm not on my main account. I can't do that thing. Hit freeze frame is a DPS loss. That's what it is. How long does it take for them to respawn? Can they respawn already? I want my ring machine. But I'm too lazy to look at the things on the artificial island to spawn one. To force spawn it. I just want my dream machine. Yeah, we need them to respawn so I can kill them. Yeah, we beat early today. Sure, early. It's only midnight, right? Midnight means early. It's more like I was late the other days because I was just busy. Can the things respawn already, please? So I can kill them. Early for the DJs. Or is it? I don't know. But they're just gonna keep flying up and plunging down while I wait. This will be very handy for 3.0 though. Being able to just jump up and then plunge down. Oh, no dream machine. Right, I also have land for land umbrellas too. Oh yeah, for sure. But then you just keep going down, and then up, and then down. There are like 3 modes of flight in 3.0? Okay. Oh yeah, what I should be doing. Dimension trials, weapon drills, quick battle. Then good old, yeah, the wall running. Need that wall running. Well, we're getting the wall running anyways. But yeah, having all of that will be nice. Apparently, we're gonna get the Heart of the Relic thing, the Heart of the Ocean Relic in the next Battle Pass. Right? So, that'll be something. I saw the leaked values on it, and it's basically like if you had not 4-piece, max 2-piece Tianlong, except works for every element and 100% uptime. The recent relic that released on CN for like the battle pass, it gives you a damage buff. Well, rather it puts a damage debuff on enemies, and it does a little bit of ticking damage every second. It's basically like the space-time rift without the pull, but it has 100% uptime. Is basically what it is. The space-time rift without the suck and 100% uptime. So that's gonna be a must-have relic. Right? Use it with Kuin 2 and you're good to go. It does damage based on like 2% of your max HP or something. Which, you know, you do the math to convert it into attack based on like the values you would have. That's basically the same as having like around like 60-70% of attack every second as a dot. I haven't really tried anything, yeah. I really should. It's just that I've been too lazy. My crew. It's more like I'm just too lazy to start inviting people. I really should. It's just that I'm so lazy. Right, and some of the people here haven't like touched in a long time. It's just that I've been lazy. I really should start inviting people. Or at least I should like get a bot script running to just spam the chat when I'm not online. And see what happens. We'll probably get like an influx of players though once 3.0 comes anyways. Can the things respawn? I want my last stream machine on this one so that I can go back on my other account. Yeah, they are. His latest video on a meme machine. Wait, latest video on us? Clap? What do you mean his latest video? We'll go look at, you know, maybe we'll go look at stuff after. When 3.0 drops, and 2 posters. Oh, this is just that thing. Oh, Rebellion doesn't work here. I should have equipped LAN. Yeah, Rebellion jetpack doesn't work in here. I should have put on LAN. Whatever. LAN's what you want for this mode, for this one. Oh shit. Alright. Okay. Oh yeah, let me finish the other dailies and do the stuff my main. Can pull here. Right, is junk. Not like there'd be anything of value in black nuclei anyways. There's never anything of value there. Okay, we have to go there. Yeah, good thing we have Robelia. We can go there faster. Here then has been called reacts to the videos. Eventually I have to finish the adventurer's log on my ult before I have to also like do wormhole on it. I really should like climb and do all of wormhole. We'll go this way. Oh, there's the overcount. You're gonna get off the internet? Alright, you have a good night then. You have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Where's the other overcounts? I need another overcount. Where are they? That's not overcount. Is there one here? Is that overcount? No, that's not an overcount. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna be up there. They're never up there. Oh, there are overcounts in here. Oh, now they're dead. Okay. And the last daily is over here. I'm pretty sure I have to kill some sand otters. There we go. They're dead. Easy. Alright, let me just bring my alt over. Oh, I have another temple here. I wonder though when we're gonna get our next altered unit. I do wonder. Cause like that's like the only shit that really matters. When are we gonna get the next altered unit? Alright, one of my bounties. G Coyote, Special Shielded Beast. Look at this! I get Sand Daughters, and then more Sand Daughters to kill. I have to kill Sand Daughters twice. Right, I get to kill Sand Daughters not once, but twice. As many. Well, not really. Killing 3 will count for killing all 5 of them. Yeah, there's quite a lot on the menus, that is true. There is quite a bit. Oh wait, I just looking back on Pig Chat, I didn't even notice your messages, Kira. Some of them. My model's jaws on the floor, what? Ozuna told me that if you paid for Super Mario RPG Armageddon, that you were being ripped off. Okay then. I just noticed your messages now. I saw the one about the thank you for the following. I didn't see the other parts though. Okay. Where's the special shielded beast? Oh, it'd be faster if I just use this. And it's dead. Oh, I have a temple here. Of course, nothing of value there. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Alright, we'll go over here. I'm gonna have to farm a ton of research mats after as well. Load. Alright. Down here. There's one of them. Alright, that one's done. Now we go down to the bottom level. Depends. Sometimes it can be fun. It depends, really. I never finished Elden Ring and stuff, though. It's like I tried a little bit of it, but I never finished it. It really depends. Okay. Alright, let's get down here. Mm-hmm. And they're dead. Oh, except for this one. You're playing the version of Parallel Worlds. That's a Zelda ROM hack. The original Parallel Worlds is super brutal. More brutal than Elden Ring. Okay. I mean, with Elden Ring, like, you could eventually just spend, like, 69 years, grind all your stuff up, eventually to make it easier on you. Right? It's like, that's definitely a thing that you could do eventually. Just grind very hard to make it easier. So there's that, I guess. Okay. Let's go get my dream machines first on here. It has force hits and do things like A Link to the Past was not intended. Parallel Worlds remodel is a lot easier. Okay. I wish the Ganado little thing here was a bit faster, because then I could just use this as my mount. Here's a first dream machine. Is this a dream machine or a nightmare fuel? So will this dream machine give us a dream machine or a nightmare? And we get... What do we get? Do we get a dream machine or nightmare fuel? Junk. This is worthless. Meme machine. I have like more than 300 of those yellow thingies. I don't need more of those. I do not. Alright. Let's just kill everything. Alright, the Iron Wing Lancers are always bugged in here. Sometimes they just take forever to die. I don't know why they're bugged. They've been bugged like this for a long time. When they spawn in there, they just take forever to die. There we go, we just wait here now for a minute and a half. Let's see if I can find anything interesting on my YouTube recommendations. The hell? Okay, that seems like it'd be interesting to put up. Okay. Yeah, we can look at that. I'll put the game in the corner while I grind. We can look at stuff while I grind materials. That seems like it'd be interesting to look at. Alright. Because I can just have the thing somewhere in the side. Because I'm gonna be grinding a lot of materials and stuff. Alright. Because I have to farm a ton of materials for research tasks. And I mean a ton. I'm gonna close my ult for now because I don't need that running. Let me get my window resized. Where did I put that small mini window I had before? Oh, there it is. Wait, we can have this on the side there. And then I can play a video up in the background. Oh, can we get another dream machine real quick? Oh yeah, we get another dream machine like immediately. What the hell is the point of that message, Tsubasa? Alright, will this be a good dream mission or will it be a nightmare fuel? Oh shit, this is a good one. Oh, this machine's really good. Wait, they're just dying here. Oh wait, no, if you actually go in here with like Samir, Lan, Ganada, you could just AFK this and decide as soon as you get like one that abroad. Did you see that thing go flying? It just went freaking flying. We don't even need to use the cannon thing. But yeah, this is a really good dream machine because we can get the things from this. Red pulls. Right, red matrix pulls are in here. Right, like the only thing of value you can get in here are like outside of like the Titan upgrade mats are just red pulls. Right, that's just the red pulls. For the what's it called? Even like the pulls for the matrix banner, the standard one. Any of the matrix banner pulls are red nuclei. Otherwise just Titan matches. Everything else is just garbage. If they appear in here. Yeah, they're just dying there. Easy. that one was very easy. All I had to do was just stand there. Mm-hmm. Right. Load. Wait, how much more until I can get my pants to 45? Okay, that's still gonna be a bit. And they respawn already? I need to kill them again. There we go. Immediately gives me the third dream machine. Here, you know what? I'll play the video in the background. I found this one. Ruined the Oh, apparently Spiral Abyss has gotten so bad there, apparently. I have no idea what's happened in a long time. But apparently, like, this is the thing.
Genshin's flawed idea of difficulty ruined the Spiral Abyss.
I
don't know what's been going on with the Spiral Abyss.
I don't
I've been
either.
asked by a lot of people to go back and try out the Spiral Abyss. But
Hey,
if there's
Yuna.
one thing that I know about Hoyoverse, their idea of difficulty is to
looking at
just
this
make the
thing while
mobs
we
have
wait
more
for...
HP. Which, by the way,
like, go
is
grind
just
materials.
about the worst thing on Earth, and nobody likes that. Now...
Oh, shit. We got another one in a row. We got another one with special voucher. Okay, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna switch my weapon out, because I want to use LAN in there. Right, to make it go faster. That's the wrong thing. Give me a moment. Okay, let's go back to getting the video to play.
I don't know if that's what they did. That's what I'm assuming. But what did they possibly do to ruin the Spiral Abyss? Video has 13K views with a 10% like ratio, which is very high. I love that Mihoyo to this day constantly punishes anyone and everyone who's dared to not build Zhang Ling. Honest, the biggest issue is what you said. It's for 50 gems, not even
Wait, why is
third
it like
They're
this?
holding the game hostage and it sucks. With 200 likes? Wait, is it actually that bad? Is it actually that bad?
That's just his browser.
What the f? Hold up. Yes, it is that bad. Content will be like this from now on. As I said in my I'm quitting video, I will stop making low effort trash for the sake of uploading every day. I am still the same person, the same takes with too few to give about what others think of me, so don't expect me to change my demeanor. This is simply a presentation shift. Of course, I still plan to improve in the future, but all that really means is there will be less uploads until I have income to pay my editors, lol. What the f happened?
Gamers, it's me, your boy.
Where is it? Where's LAN? There you are.
So, hello. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you. I know a lot of you think I quit Genshin, but I genuinely don't think any of you know what quotations mean. I mean, hell, I even specifically said that I wouldn't make a video anymore unless there was actually something I wanted to talk about that was
What an interesting concept.
Genshin related, and oh, look at that. There's something I want to talk about that's Genshin related, so now I'm making a video.
Should I go back and try the Spiral Abyss? Is it actually that f***ed up? He said Genshin bad and everyone did an underground boycott. Oh, this is another creator that's had their absolute life ruined because they stopped liking the game because the game got worse. Interesting.
It's almost like that's what I said I was gonna do. So, with that being said, you read the thumbnail, or title, I don't really know, you probably read both. So you already know what's on the chopping block
oh wait,
today,
you're just saying
because
I already
despite
saw you
what
there,
many of
Shiny
you think, I
Moltres.
never quit playing
You're just
Genshin,
saying
I
hi
just slowed down pretty
Yuna.
drastically, taking steps back from it in
Alright,
order to protect my
go
mental
up
health. And in
here.
the time I've been playing the game, there is a new change that really pissed me off.
What
It was
happened?
something that I made a video about around 10 months ago, talking about
Mm,
how this
this is
specific
cleared.
topic was only going to keep getting
Easy.
worse and worse and worse,
Okay.
and it did. So go ahead and put another coin in the Soul Was Right jar right next to the Dea Will Be Bad, and
Hey, this guy sound like me, baby. Oh, wait, what do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Okay, let's keep it going.
Will be mid. And while you do that, let me go ahead and preface some things before the meta slaves run to the comments to talk about how they beat Spiral Abyss easily in 10 seconds, and therefore it's not a problem because if they can do it, anybody can do it. And
There it is. Oh, he is calling it. Dude, he is shooting from the hip right now. Oh, I love this. Another person who is tired of the bullshit they got to deal with to make content for this game.
it's a massive skill issue on your part because the game is not that hard.
You're gonna
Newsflash,
spam me?
Bozo.
Okay.
Not everybody is you. No two people share
Alright.
the same experience in life. Just
What? What do you mean?
because it wasn't a problem for you doesn't mean it
What
wasn't
do
a
you
problem
mean?
for
Don't two
somebody
people
else.
share the
And a
same
significant
experience?
portion of the
What?
community seems to have a problem with this. So just because it's
Mm-hmm.
not your issue doesn't mean it's not a issue. And
Oh,
on
he's not
top of
pinging me like crazy. That's cool.
Imagine that. Another person
Hard
preaching what
mode,
I've
are
been
you
saying.
sure?
Just because it's not an issue
Oh.
that you don't deal with does not
Okay.
mean that it's not an issue. Same shit when I talk about the difficulty of the game, the bullet sponge, the oversaturated bullshit, the dialogue bloat. Bro, just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
that, I highly suggest you get off your high horse and quit telling people they have a skill issue. I hate to be the bearer of bad news yet again, but this is not a skill-heavy game at
Very
all.
true.
I would say the Genshin Impact is roughly 95% luck and 5% actual skill, and that is
Alright, I'll see
being
you when you get back,
generous on
Shiny
the skill
Moltres.
department, because
No, it's 95% damage check.
You
The
should play normal
95% luck
first,
he's
yeah.
talking about is artifact and relic RNG. There are so many people who like praise the shit for like how good people are at Genshin. Nobody's good at Genshin, bro. Like if somebody slams their head against a level in Spiral Abyss and they eventually beat it after 4 to 5 months, it doesn't mean that they're good. That just means that they're mentally unstable, right? The majority of you are just waiting for the crits to happen. You're waiting for the damage to line up. You're waiting for the relics to line up.
last I checked, this is a gacha game, alright? Your
Like, or they just got better gear, bro.
characters are RNG dependent, your artifacts are RNG dependent, your artifact substats are RNG dependent, enemies' movement is RNG dependent, if you crit or not is RNG dependent, everything in this game is RNG dependent. I think the only thing I can think of off
Yeah,
of the
everything
top of my
RNG.
head that is heavily requiring skill is Sukokomon, and that's pretty much the only thing. Sure, you can
They are
make
really
some
hard. They
cases
want to let
that
you know
characters
it's
like
really hard.
Tartaglia
Okay.
International and Hu Tao jump canceling take some modicum of skill.
And also a large
Unless
amount
you
of
put it on a
mental
macro.
illness to actually want to play Hu
You
Tao
could
that way.
just
I swear
macro
to
it.
God, Hu Tao is one of the most unfun characters to play properly, yet one of the cute and most beloved characters in the entire series.
Yeah, if you're gonna play
there
it
is
properly,
no
the
way
gem
I'm
cancels.
animation canceling on Hu Tao. There's just no way.
But I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news here. Pressing 14 buttons in a specific order does not take any skill whatsoever. Anybody can do it. After you do it about 3 or 4 times,
Wait, pressing it in a specific order? I remember, like, back in the day, there was a meme with the Hunter class in World of Warcraft because it was so brain dead easy that they had people literally macroing their entire rotation onto pressing one button. People legit had macros in World of Warcraft to play their entire rotation by pressing only one button. They could press only one button and they could do their entire rotation because it was that brain dead easy to play Hunter back then. I remember. Or some people would have it like they would macro keybind everything to the scroll wheel on their mouse, and they would just scroll. They would just move the scroll wheel, and then the game would just play itself for them. I remember that was a thing a long time
it'll
ago.
eventually just become muscle memory. And auto-canceling and whatever the Tartaglia International
Especially if it
is
just has to be in a
basic
specific
timing.
order.
Anybody can spend
You
5
could
minutes
just,
and
like,
learn
put
how
it
to
in
do
a
it. That
macro
doesn't require skill.
or
Then why
something.
doesn't everybody do it, Solvin Artist? After all, it's so easy. So why doesn't everybody just do it? Alright.
This guy
Why
is so
doesn't
pissed
everything
off, bro. Oh, I love it. This is a man who has been beaten and battered by my dumb
Why
little
doesn't
kids on the
everyone
internet.
do
Well, you
it?
see, that's very simple. It comes down to one very basic thing. Tartaglia International and Hutao auto jump canceling is not the only thing in this game. I'm not here to discuss whether it's the best thing available or not, but what I can tell you is one thing right out the gate is that
Okay, what
it's
do I need to get
definitely
for
not
materials?
the best team by a long shot.
Right.
There's a lot of teams in Genshin Impact that perform relatively similarly in terms of power. And I would say of the team comps you can make in Genshin that aren't just slapping characters you like on a team and actually planning something, roughly
I'll make this
90% of
bigger.
them could 36-star Abyss. So it's not a choice of people being so unskilled they just can't play these characters. It's just that nobody
could
wants
just
to
do
play your
this.
shit character,
And
and
that
they
way
would
you can
rather
see
play
more
as
of the
units
game
they like that have
that
been
I'm
built
doing.
that can 36-star the Abyss. So basically what I'm
Okay,
saying
what are the materials
is,
I need?
Preach, brother. Preach.
it's not a matter of people
I need,
being
like, a
unable
bunch of
to
poison
do it.
sacks,
It's just
small hard
people
shells.
do not want to do it
Okay.
because they would rather use the characters that they actually like.
Imagine that. It's the worst thing then when these free-to-play heads guilt people for spending money because they want to get a character that they like. Here's a crazy idea, bro. Pull your head out of your ass and realize some people like to use their favorite characters. It really shouldn't be that complicated, but then it is.
And one final point before I see people
Or like, why are you using this character when this character is better? I don't know, bro, because it's a casual game and I like that character.
bum rushing to the comments and be like, oh, Soldus is mad cause bad, his account is terrible, he just can't 36-star the Abyss, man is unskilled, trash, and while there is merit to the fact that I am in fact garbage, I will not accept the slander of my prideful Genshin Impact account. First things first, I did 36-star the Abyss. Here's the proof.
Where's the-
Second thing, second, my account
thing
is
go?
probably better than all of yours, and if not, a significant percentage of yours. That's not me trying
Damn,
to
bro.
brag that I've been playing since day one. I haven't missed any login days up until very recently. I put a pretty good amount of money in the game. I mean, I have
There's a huge aware moment where I didn't recognize at least 20% of those characters, bro. I
Wait,
literally
what were
cannot
these
remember
looking
last
at?
time I played
'Cause
have every single character.
probably wouldn't
except
recognize
for
them
two,
either.
And those characters
Because I
are
haven't looked
Dea
at the
and
game in
Yul.
like
using this
8 months.
It's
or
not a
something.
matter of people being
The worst thing then and realize some people
Wait,
in
where's-
Genshin Impact that perform relatively similarly in terms of power. And I would say of the team comps you can make in Genshin that aren't just slapping
Wait,
other
where's he?
these
rather use the characters that they actually
Wait,
like.
what is it? What was it?
imagine that. It's the worst thing then when these free-to-play
When does it go to the character list?
guilt people for spending money
'Cause I
because
don't
they
know
wanna
most
get a
of them
character that
either.
they like. Here's a crazy idea, bro. Pull your head out of your ass and realize some people like to use their favorite characters. It really
whatever.
shouldn't be that complicated, but then it is.
And one final point before I see people
Or like, why are you using this character when this character is better? I don't know,
Did I
bro,
go to the
because
wrong
it's a casual
spot?
game and I like that character.
bum rushing to the comments and be
there's-
like,
there's
oh,
a puffer
Soldus
fish.
is mad cause
me
bad,
poison
his
sack.
account is terrible, he just can't 36
Okay, I need
star the
another
Abyss.
poison
Man is
sack.
unskilled, trash, and while there is merit to the fact that I am in fact garbage, I will not accept the slander of my prideful Genshin Impact account. First things first, I did 36-star the Abyss. Here's the proof. Second thing, second, my account is probably better than all of yours, and if not, a significant percentage of yours. That's not me trying
Damn,
to
bro.
brag that I've been playing since
Oh yeah, there's a lot of characters. Like what? I don't know who most of these are now.
one,
Some of the
I
new
haven't-
ones. Right, I haven't seen that one before. That one, I think I saw him before I quit. This one. Right. Oh, they added the stupid shopkeeper now. That piece of shit.
and missed any
Don't know who
login
that
days
one
up
is.
until very
Or that one. I don't know. I don't know these three. Oh, no, I don't know who who the hell that is either. Yeah, there's a bunch there I don't recognize.
recently. I put a pretty good amount of money in the game. I mean, I have
There's a huge aware moment where I didn't recognize at least 20% of those characters, bro.
And they're like $400 a copy too.
every single character except for two, and those characters are Dea and Yola, and you'll notice a trend among those two in the fact that they're dog shit. So yeah, needless to
Yeah,
say,
isn't,
I'm
like,
well
Yola,
above
like,
the average
Reggie
threshold
Giggles?
for a in-game
Kind of.
player. And that all being said,
Freaking slow
what the
start.
were they thinking for this new
They
abyss?
also Claymore
Brought
so
to you
terrible.
by the great minds that told us not even a year ago that they would never be adding any proper hardcore in-game content because it would be too anxiety producing.
Mm-hmm.
They did say that. So
Yeah,
did
they did say
actually
that.
add some hard ass shit?
We have the you spiral abyss.
Okay.
Complete with freezing ice and hydro heralds with a everlasting shield and the capability to perma stun lock one-shot you.
Oh, so like one of the worst enemy designs ever put in a game. Where instead it's just, how many times can you apply an element to destroy a shield? Rather than like having stuff actually matter.
I will say the characters and the idea of difficulty is so irritating. Where they give
Oh yeah,
like,
for
these
sure.
units these
It sounds
shields,
awful.
And like it doesn't matter
Right?
your relic.
Doesn't
Like,
matter all the effort and stats and whatever you put in, because you have to just sit there for like 20 years trying to break their stupid shield, which is like, you have to just apply the element. Yeah, it is. But you gotta keep. Oh, there's the fire. There's the frost here. You gotta keep putting the fire on them. The water one. Go put whatever to react with it to break the shield. But don't worry, your attacks only have like a 10,000 year long ICD, and your actual damaging stats don't matter. We're just here to stall you and waste for time.
matter your relic quality. It's
Yeah.
like you just have to hit them X amount of times with these many elements in order to break through it. It's so bad.
Oh yeah, that
It's
is
like, why
awful.
would you add in a mechanic to the game that gets rid of everything that I grinded for? It's so bad. It's
Oh, yeah,
such
it
a
is.
bad design. Like,
It is
you're
very
taking
bad
all
design.
the players who grinded hard and making them do no damage, and showing that all their progress means nothing. Like, I don't know who the decided that.
The rampaging duo quad beastkin setup that will roll you to death even if you have a fully max Zhongli shield on, because you loser. And who could forget the giant
Wait, where's
abyss
this-
lector who will constantly
Wait,
spam
wait,
shields
I'm trying
like
to get
a
this
shitty
stupid-
Overwatch support and then
It just sounds
Or any
awful.
Apex player after they get shot once.
make it impossible to deal any meaningful damage to him. And if that
Oh,
doesn't
that
tickle
sounds
your
bad.
fancy, we also have 2 waves
didn't realize
of
it was that
3
bad.
Whopper flowers followed by 2
Whopper flowers are the worst. Any character or any unit, enemy unit, we're just like, oh, I
It
become
just
invulnerable.
sounds sad
I
and
don't wanna fight
bad.
that.
2
It was-
waves of 3 perpetual mechanical arrays to really rub some salt
Multiple
in your
waves of
wounded
enemies all right,
nutsack.
that was
Oh my
pretty awful,
God, is
too.
that not enough for you? You really must hate yourself.
Yeah, it's just
also
padding
have
for
the
time.
electro manifestation that will run around the room like an autistic 5-year-old. It doesn't stand still for long enough to do anything. What?
1 second, guys. I love listening to angry people, bro. And this dude is furious.
What's that? You brought Raiden National in so that you could beat the Abyss Lector on the second half? No, you didn't. And who could forget the Jade Bloom Terror Shroom who
Oh, where's the-
just kind of falls over.
Okay,
Honestly,
there's the
this is
sunfish
easiest
fin. We need to
one
get
in
more of
entire
those.
Spiral Abyss. So yeah, needless to say, it's bad. And if that wasn't enough to convince you, we can take a look at the other Genshin Impact YouTubers and see what they have to say.
Okay.
Oh, it's a unanimous shit?
It-
Oh, now that's
didn't Tenten
surprising.
quit or
No,
something
it's
as
not like
well,
this is
I heard?
something that wasn't predictable. I even said in an old video that this is exactly what would go down, and now it happened, and people are surprised. So let me describe this to
Surprised.
you in a way
I
Well, they
swear
got
to
the
God,
surprise
I'm
Pikachu
watching the video
face?
right now, boys.
it's pretty basic to understand. This is a combination of 3 major issues, and
Okay.
before the people start arriving to the comments,
This guy made a video about you before, though, twice, about apology video. I'll have to watch it later.
to write about how it's the meta player's fault. It's not. As much as I hate the hardcore meta players, Genshin Impact has never once taken the time to listen to anything they've
Yep.
said, and they have
I don't think
actively
they
gone
ever
out of
did.
their way to undermine their processes, so it's just not. I'm sorry. I highly doubt that they finally started listening to them after 2.5 years. This is a combination of a lot of things, but the biggest problem is reverse power creep and the need to upscale difficulty. Reverse
I
power
heard
creep,
they were
for those of
making
you that
newer
don't know,
characters
is when
shit.
the newer characters get worse than the older characters. Now, that is,
That
a
is
hot take
hilarious
in
and
Genshin,
sad.
as I have come to find
Newer
out. With
characters
I mean, it's
worse.
the truth. The characters that are coming out of
Game
Vtuber
proof you
are so
can clean
bad,
the game
right?
with
Now, once again,
under-leveled
the Dendro
characters.
is cool, but like, what the
I
fuck
mean, yeah.
happened with Dea? Like,
I
legit,
haven't
what
looked
the fuck
at it,
happened
though.
to Dea, and what the fuck happened to Geo, bro? It is
The
so
Abyss
bad.
is
Big names
terrible,
like
is from
I
what
Win
they're
to Lose,
saying.
10-10.
From what they're saying, it sounds like you have to be an extreme masochist to do it now, because they're just stalling for time. But they put like what the lectures and whatever, right? You have to just break the shield. Level 1 characters work on that. I know level 1 characters work on that. It's all about how many reactions can you trigger that do 0 damage to break the shield. Or like they put like a bunch of weak enemies, but you have to like kill them wave by wave instead of all at once like they used to have. Right? It sounds more like they're just padding and stalling for time, if anything. Just like their awful story where like you hear the same thing repeated like 3 times because yeah, they're just padding for time. Right? Like
And what is
What?
that other guy's name? I think it's like Flowcats.
Did he
Yeah,
actually
Flowcats
play through
advocating
all
for
of
the
it?
new characters.
How did
Once
he not
again,
get
I'm here to give
bored?
you a helping
The
serving
story
of
is
reality.
awful.
Mathematically, formulaically, numbers and
It's like
damage
one of the
over your
worst ways to
feelings,
tell
the
a
new
story.
characters are significantly worse than the older characters, and it's not.
Especially the Sumeru one. I remember it being like so bad that it put me to sleep.
You're not good enough.
Especially because you
Actually,
can't skip
get
it.
100% crit rate and 400% crit damage. Dea actually really shines. It's just that your relics aren't good enough. How dare you say that about her, bro?
Not even.
Oh yeah, that's
Some
the
of-
community I
Quit
remember.
because of
They're all
Dea?
just a
Bro,
bunch
the
of
Dea shit is a
yeah.
joke. And you know what's even more of a joke? The fact that Hoyoverse denies it and does nothing to fix it. It's insane.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna
Just
care.
Test your units.
Them may support more powerful older characters in a better way.
They don't
but
care. They
for
realize people
most
will
of the
spend
new
$400 a
characters,
copy
they
per
are direct
character.
downgrades
No matter
to
how
older
shit they
characters.
are.
Here's a great example. Layla. I love Layla. I love her design. I love her appearance. I love her personality. And I love,
I don't know who that
love
is.
her color scheme. She is one of my favorite characters. Matter of fact, I have had Zhao as my profile icon in Genshin Impact for 2.5 years until Layla came out, and now she's my profile icon. However, I'm not here huffing
Layla is very cute.
copium telling people that Layla is good because
You know whose design I liked in Genshin Impact? Or the design that I hated when they first came out, but now I really like it? Nilo. I actually, if I do ever go back to Genshin, I actually will probably pull a Nilo because I think they are absolutely a beautiful character. Now, I don't know if they're good or not, but they are so cool looking.
Because the fact of the matter is, Layla is a worse Diona. She can't battle.
Yeah, but Kekton is the one dude that keeps playing the game too. Wait, he still plays it?
Useless,
I thought he said
and
he
her
hasn't.
damage is mid
He does
at
it for
best.
drama,
Meanwhile, you have
oh.
another support character
Okay.
who came out years
Yeah,
in
because like I
advance
haven't
named
touched it ever since I made the
Diona,
I
who
Quit
buffs
video.
movement speed, shields,
'Cause, like,
buffs
I'm
elemental
done with it.
mastery, heals, and her damage is pretty decent at high investments. Meanwhile,
You know what? Actually, here. You know, maybe one day I'll actually try it again on a private server that I host myself, just to see how much I can break the game. Maybe we could turn it into a thing where I could kill all the NPCs. I think that would at least make it a bit more entertaining if I could just murder all the NPCs. You know, that was like the other thing that I found really stupid with Genshin's story. They have like all these characters, but none of them are actually in the story. No. You want the characters they put on the banners to be in the story? Oh, don't worry. You just gotta make sure you go play one of their stupid bullshit events, which is just basically a glorified ad to, you know, sell the character instead of them actually being relevant. Right? Like, how many of the characters that were, like, in the story were like, actually relevant? I'm pretty sure, like, only a very small handful of them were actually relevant to the story. Right? Like, otherwise, they're just there. It's just, like, kind of just stupid when you think about it. They're just putting them there for the sake of putting them there. Like, that's, like, really what I remember it being like. Like, you have, like, X character, but, like, the X character just doesn't matter. Instead, the story's about all the NPCs you find. Like, what? It's just NPCs instead. What the hell's the point, then? Right? It's not good storytelling. It's not good world building. Because if it was good world building, they'd actually be relevant. Even though, like, I've heard people say, oh, but it has, like, really great world building or whatever. Like, no, it does not. If you have to go out of your way for it, that's not good design. That is just terrible. It's supposed to be technology land. I thought it's gonna be game become slow as fuck simulator. It was already slow, but it's gonna get slower, where it pads you out even more for time. Right? Because I heard they're gonna put you underwater or something. But knowing Genshin, it's gonna be like really awful and slow. Knowing them. We don't get big features and gadgets on Fontaine. We're fucked. They're not gonna put anything in there. Because, like, what it really looks like is, like, they're not really trying, whatever. Whatever, let's go back to playing the video.
Layla needs all 6 of her cons to be
All
at least
6.
decent. No,
That.
another great example. Kuki Shinobu.
That's what I like about Honkai Star Rail. There's not a single character where it's like they're not viable unless they get all of their constellations.
I mean, you only have 2 buttons in Star Rail, and it's a pretty basic ass brain dead RPG.
And even they're fixed matching before they get out. Like, for example, Kafka would not
There's
have
like,
been
we'll
nearly
quit
as good as she
FO
was
and show
without
even more
E1,
with
so they just
4.0.
added her E1 to her base passive now. Like,
When
dude,
YouTube
the
uploads.
development team for Honkai is doing
Oh, you
such a
mean
good
where's
job.
my
It just
YouTube
draws
thing?
them, like, why the
Oh,
isn't
one
the
sec.
Genshin team doing the same thing? I just don't get it.
Endure. Kuki Shinobu is an amazing electro healer and
What was
elemental
the
damage
command
applicator
again?
for teams that require electro reaction.
It's like, how does the same company get it so right for one game and then so wrong for the other one? I just don't
What
understand.
was the
Her
command?
healing follows you around in periodic movements and zaps a wide area around you, so it's
There you
very
go, there's my
easy to
YouTube channel
control
link.
and affect your ways
Oh, wait.
of doing damage. Not only that, because her scaling is so high, and at later constellation she transverts some
That's
of her
my
element
YouTube channel
mastery
there.
into pure damage on additional hits of your character.
Right, 'cause, like,
Her
Twitch
damage
doesn't
isn't
save
actually
all
as
my
bad as a
VODs,
lot of
but
people think. And
all
then
my
you have
VODs, you
Dory.
can find them on
I am ending the
YouTube.
discussion there. And it's
Easy.
obviously not just the 4 stars. Some of the 5 stars are especially lacking. Another great example is Baiju, who had no excuse being as bad as he was.
Oh my, they made Baiju bad
made him
too?
bad.
A character that people have been looking forward to since like 1 point.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in like he was an NPC in like the
What? He was
beginning.
bad?
They made him
Oh
bad.
my God, he's okay. Nothing great. Jesus Christ.
After we waited 2.5
They
years for
made him
him.
There
bad.
it is.
They
and he
waited
came out
like a
as
long
Doctor.
time
Who
and then
could
he's
forget
bad.
The legendary dumpster fire
And
that
knowing
is
some
Dave.
people, they would be
Fact
like,
of
"Oh, I
the
made
matter
this
is, a lot
account,
of the
saving
the
for like
best-looking
saving
characters
like
in the whole
X
game.
amount
I
of
have no
primo
idea how they
gems
flop
to
it.
pull them in
older
like 2
characters were
years."
significantly better
There were
than
people
modern
like that. I
characters in
remember
terms
seeing
of
those
damage.
people.
Now, that alone isn't a problem. If that were the only issue, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But here's the crux. MiHoYo didn't scale everything to
Okay.
match the modern and older 5-star characters.
The game
They
doesn't get
upscaled
scaled. Oh.
everything to become stronger than them.
So they make
So
everything
they made all the
stronger.
new characters worse, and then they made all the content harder.
It's
Oh,
hilarious.
that's brutal.
That is
dude.
very
Thus
brutal.
making our issue significantly worse. Here's a fun fact. About 1.5 years ago, I made a video talking about how Spiral Abyss was only going to get worse. And in that video, I drew a comparison to the Alpha Rift Hounds and Dvalin. Did you know that back then,
I should
an
stop
Alpha
using
Rift Hound
Ganano here.
on Inazuma Island
Just
would
for
have had
safety
more HP
reasons.
than the Dvalin boss fight? Think about that. A Alpha enemy
Wait,
has
a regular
more
enemy
HP
has
than
more
a
HP than a.
world boss.
than a
Is
world
that not
boss.
enough to paint the picture for you?
Oh
That's
boy.
insane.
Okay. Well, what about
That is
the
insane.
wildebeest that you can find in later segments of Sumeru? What if I told you that one of those wildebeest has more HP than the entire Tartaglia boss fight?
Yeah, he's throwing facts alright.
What the?
A
What
regular
are they
enemy has
doing,
more
man?
HP than the
About that.
3-phase
On
boss
top
fight?
of that,
So they just made everything in the game just a bullet sponge?
their moveset is not as predictable as Tartaglia's, and guess what? They do more damage. If you do not see the fundamental design flaw in that logic,
Oh,
I
yeah,
hate to break it to
I
you,
said things
you
were
will
getting
never
worse.
understand the crux of the issue.
I
and
didn't
you
think
should
they were
just
getting
leave
this
now.
bad.
But for those of you that are still interested, let me tell you, it gets worse. Because once a character is put into Spiral Abyss, or an enemy for this case, they get an Abyss buff.
Yeah, because they
which
get their level scaled up higher.
No, there's a difference, right? There's a a difference, right? So when people are asking for endgame, they're not asking for, oh, I want all the enemies to be bullet sponges. They're wanting complex mechanics to have to deal with, and once they've dealt with, then they get to beat the unit. Like, for example, you want higher damage and more complex mechanics to dodge. And then once that dodge
just sounds awful.
Then you kill them easier.
So they
Nobody
made it
says,
worse.
I want endgame. I want every mob to have 800% more HP.
So the game's gotten a lot worse.
Like their actions matter, and they're not just hitting things that have no mechanics for 8 minutes hoping they kill it in time, right?
Yeah, and you're just waiting for a timer to pray.
This fight has a mechanic. If I dodge it, I get
Monsters get
rewarded
better
with
than the
win.
characters.
Or
Yeah, why can't you play as the monster?
They don't think,
Who wants to play as a stupid character? I want to play as the monster.
Length of
The
killing
monsters
does
get
not
better.
equal difficulty.
Yeah.
Complex mechanics equals difficulty. That's the difference.
Length
They're
of killing
placed
is not
roughly
difficulty.
50% more HP, and that is based
true.
off of their outscaling
That is very
world level.
true.
So, for example, if I have a level 90 enemy and I
Like, just for example, players would rather dodge a complex mechanic
Oh,
3
yeah,
times
for sure.
the boss versus dodge a basic mechanic that does nothing 100 times and kill the fight over 10 minutes.
put
Oh,
them
yeah,
on
for
floor
sure.
12-3 of Spiral Abyss, they're level 100, so they get that buff. Then they get the level disparity buff, and then they get the Abyss buff on top of that, meaning that 300,000 HP, well, guess what, buddy? Now that's roughly 2 million HP. And also there's 4 of them, and also they will perma-stagger stunlock you and kill you before you can do anything
So that
about it
doesn't-
if you get hit once. But once again, this wouldn't be as big of an issue if there wasn't another problem quelling through the entire system.
But what's the next
What
problem?
That is the fact that enemies aren't designed to kill you. No, they're designed.
They're not designed to
stall
kill
for
you?
Time. That is it. So
Oh, yeah, that is
basically,
true.
Mahomes is wrapped up in a game
They feel like
where
more
they
like the
realize they
enemies
can't
you'd
make
fight in,
any
like, Sonic
actually
Forces.
meaningful,
I do
skillful
remember
content.
that.
So instead, they're making very annoying enemies and floor placements so that they can stall you for as long as possible.
Yep. Knew that without even playing the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Just keep people in the game.
You
and
guys have
rise
seen,
up,
right? You've seen,
player
like, the
retention, that way
gameplay
they
of, like,
can
Sonic Forces in the
corporations.
beginning.
That is brutal.
You see, like, the first few egg pawns,
Now,
they're
to
just
anybody
standing
who
there. You
wants
can
to
stand
disagree
right
with
next
me,
to them,
I would
and
like
they
to
literally
point out
won't do
some obvious
anything to
facts that
you.
would prove you wrong before you even
You
got
guys know what I
started.
mean,
Okay,
right?
let's go. Let's hear
Do
it.
you think it's a coincidence that they put the Hydro Abyss Lectors and the Cryo Abyss Lectors together on the same floor? Yeah, I didn't think
I don't
so.
think that's
It's
a coincidence,
obvious that they
though.
plan to try and
Yeah,
frenzy
it
for as
sounds like
long
they're
as
really just
possible to
trolling
stall
you.
for time. Another example. Do you think it's a coincidence that old school abysses used to spawn the entire floor enemy all at once, and now they're spawning
Yeah, they
them
did
in
do that
waves of
before, I
3 instead
remember.
of waves of 12?
That is the worst, bro.
Oh, yeah, that
So
is
you can't
awful.
AoE them all
Yeah, you
down at the
can't
same time.
AoE
You're
them down. You gotta, like,
artificially
wait.
placing the length of the
And
wave
then do
based
the
on the
next
amount of
one.
time.
And
Yeah,
then
it's not a
do the
coincidence
next
either.
one.
They're doing that.
Oh, that
to
makes
stall for
characters like you
time,
look even
so you
more
can't
dog
AoE
shit.
burst down
Because
everything on
of how
the
shit
field.
works.
Do you think it's a coincidence
That makes her
that
even
the
worse.
Reinx and a lot of the modern bosses
Like, she
and
was already
world
bad, and that
bosses
makes her
have
worse.
mechanics that stall you from actually dealing damage. For example, flying, shields that can't be broken, freezing, quelling. They're all made just to stall for time. They're
Yeah.
not actually trying to make difficult content, which is another reason why the words skill issue being tossed around at people that complain about Spiral Abyss is, and you're gonna have to excuse my language here, get Mihoyo's cock
Yeah.
out of your mouth and realize
Exactly.
they are playing you for a fool. They're
This guy's got to be a viewer of mine. There's just no way this guy is not a viewer of mine. There's literally no way.
Eula went from hearing this wall jump.
Hey, bro, I swear to God, I've been
I
saying
mean,
this
Eula's
shit for
always been
years.
dog shit, right? They gave her a claymore weapon, right? First they give her the claymore weapon, which is the worst weapon type in the game, especially because the hit frame is after hit lag ends or something. You have to wait for after the animation. Like at the end of the animation frame is when the actual hit from claymore weapons trigger. Right? They've always had that issue. So she already gets one of the worst things that you can have in an action game. One of the worst possible qualities you can have by being dysfunctional there. And then like what? Next is like her entire kit is backloaded where you have to build up like 1,000,000 stacks on the thing first before you can hit them. Yeah, that's another terrible quality, right? You gotta spend like 20 years just stacking up. Then you can actually do one hit of damage that's like way too overkill, so most of that damage is completely wasted, right? It doesn't mean anything. But like, because it takes a long time to stack up I basically would compare her to like what? If she was a Pokemon, she'd look like this. Right? This is Eula right here. But just take this, give it the ice type, and you have Eula. Why would people use that though? Didn't they just... Yeah, I've heard of it, but wasn't that thing like just some stupid thing that people did because she was bugged at launch? Because something was bugged? Yeah, but this is basically Eula, right? She does like nothing for the first couple of for the first bit, right? 5 turns, and then after that she can do something, but also very slow, right? Very slow at the start too. And guess what? This Pokemon's complete dog shit, despite having stats higher than like Kyogre and Groudon. Oh, not higher stats, same stats, right? Actually, it's faster. After slow start ends, it would technically be faster, assuming you survive. It's a dog shit Pokemon.
Man, I've been saying this shit for years.
They're not trying to make harder content, they're trying to stall content by making damage sponges that evade all attacks so that they can halt your momentum. But of course, that's not the final problem because there's one more issue to be resolved.
Now, okay, I'm confused here.
But of course,
I feel like
come after
you
me
should have
and hit
picked the
this
crit rate, crit damage. But I don't know your account. But that one's like peak, right? That one is peak, brother. I love that one.
that's not the final problem because there's one more issue to be resolved. The fact of the matter is, they're purposely locking you off from effectively using all of your elements. For example, this abyss, they're making a lot of enemies that have massive shields that can only be broken by bringing in the proper elements. By doing this,
Didn't they have the one? Didn't they also say they had the one the thunder manifestation as well? Was there?
So that they can lock
You can't use electric on them?
potentially your best character. This isn't
Because
That would be really bad for me if they did shit that's like, this can only be broken by Dendro. Because I have like no Dendro units.
another tactic.
oh yeah,
that
for
they're
sure.
using.
Didn't they have
The
like?
shields are so
Wasn't the current
bad.
update
Like, they're not
only the
hard
card
to
game
deal
or
with, they're
something
just
too?
annoying to
Is what I
deal with.
heard.
Instead of making
I heard everything's just been
difficult
getting
content
worse.
because they're too stupid to do that. They're gonna artificially
I heard,
inflate
but
the
I don't know
difficulty, thus
I didn't know how
further
bad it
devaluing
got.
other characters in the game. So there you
Like,
go.
I just heard it's
There's
been
the reason why
getting
I clicked
worse
on
and
this
worse.
video. Those are
Like,
the
I
design
predicted things were gonna
flaws
get
with
worse.
the current spiral
I mean, it
abyss.
wasn't really
And
hard
it's
to make
not
that
like these
prediction.
have been unknown. I made a video talking about all of these exact issues over 12 months ago now,
Okay.
and they have only compiled onto themselves
Maybe
over
this
and
small.
over and over. And this abyss, it finally caught back up with me again after a year and a half. And it wasn't because I wasn't building new diverse characters. I have almost every character in the game.
Yeah, the
built.
guy
It
said
was
he had
because
everything.
Mahoyo was finally getting to the point where the
This looks irritating as shit.
only people
Yeah.
that are going to be able to beat the abyss in the future are whales. And that is... And you know, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
if
even...
it was
Nah,
whales,
because what they should
it's
do,
pointless if it's
right,
like
that's-
whales, right? Because they're not gonna care. Why would they waste their time molding for nothing, right? Like they're just gonna end up swiping harder anyways. It's completely pointless, right? It's completely pointless. They're just gonna be like, oh, I'll just swipe another bit, right? Because how much do you only get for doing it? No, you didn't miss it. There's still
very,
more.
very, very simple, is they should make the Spiral Abyss completely clearable by free-to-play, right? If
Yeah,
you
it should.
grinded, you should be able to clear it completely free-to-play. They need to add other levels where you can test your account like 13, 14, 15, 16, and they don't give you any rewards, but get this, they're fun and complex to do. And that way you can test the limits of your account, you can test the limits of your skill to see where you can go as a whale, where you can go as a skilled free-to-play player. But Spiral Abyss should be clearable by the casual free-to-play player. It really should. But there should also be a place where whales can test their limits.
be that mad about
It is clearable with free-to-play. Most free-to-play have some 5 stars, but you can do that with any 4-star only. Yeah, of course. Yeah, good.
it, but the problem
I think
is
it's the difference
not
between clearing and
worth
getting the
effort
stars.
anymore. Suffering through
Because you
But
have to
like,
wait,
with the
because the
direction of
stupid
where it's
time.
going, right?
through all
Timer,
of
right?
12-9 to get the perfect 9 stars is not worth 50 gems. It's not worth it
It's
for the
not worth
hardcore
50.
players who have to put 5,000 hours into the game to build meta characters that can beat this floor with ease. It's not worth it to the casual players who already don't have the units to beat this floor. It's not worth it to the in-game players like me who already have everything and 50 Primo Gems is a drop in the bucket. And it's not worth anything to the whales because if they want Primo Gems, they'll just buy them. At
Yeah,
this
that's
point,
what
the
it's-
only reason why you would 36-star the Spiral Abyss is for bragging rights or peer pressure because other people have done it that you may know. Hell, that's the only reason why I did it, because in my opinion, 50 gems ain't worth it, but getting
Yeah.
made fun of by the people I like is kind of annoying. So I just 30.
It's just annoying, so you just did it.
It's the truth, man. These are annoying, brother. You do anything and you will be scrutinized, and this dude's a content creator and he has it even worse.
36-star the Abyss,
Yeah.
and that's it. That was my reason. It wasn't because you gave me one. There is no reason. But I can tell you one thing. In the
Alright.
future, if the Abyss
Alright,
gets
you have a
any
good night
harder
then,
than it
Shiny
currently
Moltres.
is now,
You have a
my
good
friends
night.
can kiss the dirtiest part of my asshole because I will not be suffering through that shit again.
He doesn't mean if the Abyss gets any harder. He means if the Abyss gets any more infuriating to
Yeah.
deal with, like annoying. Obviously, if it was hard because there was a huge like skill gap, that's one thing. But the reality is that like there are just accounts that don't get good relics. Like if it was sort of
Oh, yeah,
by
for
just
sure.
like outskilling it, that'd be one
Yeah,
thing. But the
I know that
reality is like,
experience
it's just
alright.
like, oh, I didn't get good
Grinding the
relics, I don't
same
have any
boring
money.
room
Well,
for
I
like
can't
a year straight, spending all your worthless resin there, and having nothing to show for it. I remember that experience. Making literally zero progress. The only progress you ever made was because you swiped harder. You swiped harder and pulled on the thing on the banner.
do it, right? That's
Yeah,
what
no, he's not.
If it was just like, oh, dodge,
He's not.
bada boom, you got it. But instead, it's just like,
I don't think
okay,
they
you
would
got the
want
damage,
to
now,
anyways. Because it would
Again,
obviously be
grinding
bad,
till you get lucky
bad
and get
press
the
for them
As
if
a
they
matter
were.
of fact, I am getting to the point on my account where I'm just not spending resin anymore because
Yeah, I
the
don't know why
in-game
he loves
content that I've been
Star Rail. I
building
don't
for
like
has
Star
been
Rail.
preferred never to happen, and the Abyss is becoming a pain in the ass because you're locking me out.
Hey,
of
maybe
using the
because I
characters
played good
have been
turn-based
building to
RPGs.
artificially inflate the difficulty, so it's a gamble of if the thing I'm even working on
Maybe
creating
'cause I
is gonna
actually
do
know
me any
good
good in
shit.
the future. But
Imagine that. Them saying, oh, you're not allowed to use
And I don't find
that's so, and the
I
worst thing is
don't
that is
really
so
care for the
scummy from a
characters.
gacha creator, like a gacha company, because the units are already so hard to get. People build specific units, and then they tell you, oh yeah, these ones don't work here. Like, bro, what the f is that?
But hey, at this point, I'm just starting to bitch, huh? So there you go. There are the problems. I told you about them 12 months ago. I'm telling you
Didn't we
about them
get
now.
thing to hit
And
their
I'm
heads
willing
here?
to bet my left nut that if they continue to compile on top of each other, it is only going to get worse. I am not going to pose any
God
solutions
damn it, it's not
because I
hitting
know
it.
for a fact that Mahoyo isn't listening, so by all means, discuss it amongst yourself in the comments
Yeah,
section.
they're not gonna
I'm
listen.
not doing that. But yeah, that's about it. It's good to be back, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Honkai Star Rail suffers from this issue a lot as well.
Oh.
Because it hasn't given us a imaginary unit yet, but in 1.2 we're getting Yukong for free, and then every single player does have every single unit to deal with every single affix, right? So eventually it will get better once 1.2 comes out. But that is the thing that Honkai Star Rail does with severe difficulty. It's super fucking annoying when the game says you can't use this here, you can't use this here, and then you have no alternatives. Thankfully, by the time 1.2 comes out, every player will have those alternatives, and then it comes down to the player to understand that they need to develop their roster in order to have the square block for the square hole,
Poor
the circle
tech
block for the
dude.
circle hole, and the triangle block for the triangle hole. Although the square
Uh-huh.
block is Zila, and that square block fits in every single hole because Zila is the best unit in the entire.
Oh, here, there's something on Star Rail here.
Guys, Star Rail's
Okay.
combat needs a major change. I
It
would
needs a
actually
change?
heavily
Yes, it
support
does.
Now,
I
that
do
being
think
said,
so, too.
Am I open to opinions that are different from my own? Yes, but I feel
Alright,
like
let's
this
see
is
what
a
he has to say
very,
on that
very,
one.
Very weird take, but I would.
He
love to
thinks
know
it's
what
weird,
they
I
think.
don't.
Maybe it's something
I
that
know,
don't
I think
because
it
I don't
does need
know.
a change.
Does the
I think it's
combat need
pretty
changes?
boring.
I would say no, but let's
Yeah,
find
he
out.
loves Star Rail. I find it pretty
On the surface
boring.
level, some find it tedious,
Especially
but
'cause I'm not
the only
horny for
measure
any of the
skill and aptitude
characters.
being whether or not you can press buttons. Comparatively, action or
Okay.
real-time combat is extolled for being more engaging and skill expressive. Even
Nah, I disagree, bro. I mean, a lot of people see it that way because they can mash their buttons, but I think there's an actual certain joy in turn-based combat.
There
RPG
is,
games
but
because every single
not
attack
Star
that you
Rail.
do,
Star Rail
has
is just
weight,
boring.
Right? Like every choice that you make has weight. When in reality,
There's no
like,
weight in
combat
your
and a lot of
choices in
turn-
Star
open
Rail.
world action
It
games
says,
kinda just,
can
like,
you
hit a
press
whole
the
bunch,
button,
when
and
they
that's
gonna
it.
hit, you move. Right? It's just all about how you like consider the weight and the gravity of every single action. I'm okay.
There
with
is
doing
no
one
there's
choice
no
that has the
gravity at
same
all.
weight as 30
I thought
seconds
in
of
Star Rail
combat.
the only thing that mattered was how much you spent again,
Exactly.
and then how much you
honestly, like, if
grinded.
people don't like turn-based combat, that's fine. That doesn't mean that the game needs to change.
It doesn't really put any player choice or anything in there.
To account for problems that may arise from such a controlled system.
Okay.
As
Yeah,
if
it's pretty
used
much
for
all
any
their
turn-based
games,
game,
yeah.
There really isn't much input required on the player's part. All you're doing is pressing a button every so often.
Which isn't a problem if they have a good system, right? There's nothing wrong with having like very minimal APM requirements, as long as like it matters what you're
Or
doing.
you may opt for a strategy-oriented turn-based combat to judge a player's capacity for planning
Oh.
and organization. Like
Oh, so this guy's actually talking about actual turn-based strategy games. Good. So like we actually have someone who's actually gonna talk about stuff instead of being like, yeah, because it's not action or whatever.
franchise. But at a certain point, you can only do so much to differentiate one turn-based experience
Oh,
from
yeah,
another
for sure.
in the same title anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, no,
Yep.
it is very hard to differentiate turn-based combat from game to game.
Oh,
There's
I
a
know
lot of
it's not
things
that hard if they know
certain
what they're
games
doing.
do, like, you have the standard set, and usually it's I go, you go, I go, you go. But then with like the existence of the Honkai Star Rail Ultimate system and being able to cut things before they happen is very interesting.
You're
Like,
not
for example,
cutting
your
things before they happen, you're just tacking it on top. It's not the same thing. He says cut things before they happen, but I'm pretty sure they're not actually cutting things before they happen from what I remember. It's just tacking it on top of the end of the turn. It's not the same thing. So yeah, the shit will still happen regardless.
Oh, and then you get to use a heal before the boss goes, just as they're about to go, even though it's not your turn. Is very cool. But making a dynamic turn-based combat system game is actually always going to be very difficult, and yeah,
Dynamic
I
is not
I
too
can't
hard.
really think of a game that does that very well. A lot of people
I don't know.
say Persona, but in my opinion, Persona's combat was okay.
I never played Genshin's crappy card game,
which is fine
because I quit long before that was a thing. I have no interest in their card game.
You just use the spell that's the best. For me, Persona was carried by the story. Yeah, I can't really think of a game that's turn-based that's like incredibly groundbreaking. Maybe like Fire Emblem, but that's like tactic RPG. But as far as like straight up,
Oh yeah,
turn-based
Fire Emblem's
RPG, I
interesting.
feel like Honkai Star Rail's got to be up there.
In
No.
contrast, a fighting game like Tekken.
All right, they don't mention stuff like Trails because they don't get the underrated shit.
Oh, that's true. Tekken is definitely more complex than a turn-based RPG. That's very true. Does that mean I think that they should make Honkai Star Rail a fighting game like Tekken? No, I don't think that at all.
I stressed many times in the past that Genshin's combat has a lot of untapped potential by virtue of
Which is very true. The combat in Genshin does have a lot of untapped potential. Very true. Okay, where are you going with this?
being action-based with a cohesive battle system revolving around elemental reactions.
Now, I would argue that Genshin's combat is fine. I think what Genshin really needs to work on is preventing enemies from being bullet sponges, lower
yeah.
the HP, increase the damage, and
I used to
then
support
work
this
on
bad
the
when he quit
mechanics that
Genshin.
the enemies do. I feel like that would be way more interesting. because
But
I
then
feel
he
like the
immediately
combat's
jumped ship to
already got
Star Rail?
enough
Oh
going
yeah.
on. Now, it would
Like
just be
what?
better to fight mobs with more complex
It's just
mechanics or
pitiful,
things that
yeah,
at least
exactly.
require you to think with damage where it hits you, where it actually bears consequences.
Star
In
Rail is
reality,
just
almost
awful
everything
for
in
a
the entire
turn-based
can be
game.
circumvented by using a Diona shield.
It's like a very basic-
potential to full glory with more
Right.
thought-out systems.
At least the video he's reacting to, like this guy knows what he's talking about.
The gameplay was thought out and explored more elaborately, but its nature as a turn-based game may ironically cause it to not survive as long as Genshin's. For today's
Yeah.
Star Rail video, we're
No,
It's
I
really
think
just
you're gonna
how
take
horny are
entirely
you
because
for the
Genshin
latest
isn't
character?
being,
It's the
pushed
same
to be a
shitty
longevity,
storytelling
it's being
and
pushed to
whatnot.
The fact that it's a story-based game, right?
I-
People
yeah,
are
who
playing Genshin
knows?
right now for the combat. We haven't seen a combat update in months. The majority are just casual players enjoying the story, enjoying the characters, enjoying the environment. So I really don't think that the combat really bears any consequence. And a lot of players for Honkai Star Rail are the exact same, where they don't really give a f about the combat. They only give a f about the story, in my opinion.
going to be discussing future problems that may come about from its combat system.
Okay.
Now, I don't think I need to remind anyone that the game is still young. It's only been out for just over a month. For all I
Right.
know, everything in this video might be baseless conjecture proven
Damn, it's only been like a month, bro. What?
wrong, which I actually hope is the case as I very much enjoyed the game. Having said that,
I
I want to
didn't.
clear up that I'm not doing this
I was
for
just
the sake
bored
of
the whole
betrayal
time.
or Doomsayer. Turn-based combat
No problem, bro. You should not have to worry about saying your opinion, bro. You say whatever you need to say.
that happens to be
Yeah,
one
I
of my
found it
favorite
very
genres, and I
boring.
find myself bearing witness to them diminishing in popularity because developers fail to take notice to how tenuous a player's enjoyment of the game can be if not handled correctly. The gist of Star Rail's combat goes as follows. Characters are divided into different classes, known as paths, and then further segmented into different elements. From the number of combinations possible between the two, it leaves a lot of opportunity for character design. You can have a lightning abundance, fire hunt, wind preservation, imaginary nihility, quantum destruction, so on and so on. In actual combat, a player is given up to 3 actions per character: attack, skill, and ultimate. By dealing or taking damage, among other things, you charge energy, which is used to unlock your ultimate for a single cast.
Yeah, very standard basic
skill
shit.
Points, which are expended for, you guessed it, skills. Turn order is determined by every character's speed. The higher it is, the earlier you get to act per rotation. And in some cases, the more times you can act per rotation.
There's also a lot more that a lot of people forget about, like choosing which character breaks the unit's shield in order to apply what certain affix, as well as the entire, I guess, additional layer of follow-up attacks, as well as outlier characters like Jing Yuan, where you get to use his skills, maybe not so much for damage, but for increasing the amount of Lightning Lord stacks, as well as Zila's Resurgence procs, like all of that shit. There's a lot more decision-making that goes into
you get more decision-making if you go whale another character.
There actually is a lot more to it than you actually might think.
Oh, but only if you have specific characters. You can have them have an extra passive. Wow. You gotta spend $400 first, guys. Don't worry. You wanna have more depth on your character? Go spend $400.
Not to mention the whole concept of speed.
They're not. He's really just putting more than, like, just saying more than really what's going on there. Really, it's just because of how basic it is with your inputs. It really is just how much stats you can have, and then can you press the button, and that's it, right? Because there's no actual depth to it. He's just saying, oh, there's all this, but in reality, it just sounds like more of, oh, maybe their attack just gets split up into like a bunch of smaller thingies. Or maybe it's like a Pokemon using, like, I don't know, Doom Desire or Future Sight, where, oh, you spend one turn to call your attack, and then it'll just wait, and then it'll happen later, instead of on the same turn you call the attack, right? Or what's another one like that? Like, they have like that. Or maybe it's like your 2-turn attacking moves in Pokemon, like when you use like your Hyper Beam, and you gotta wait a turn, or you use your Roar of Time, Eterna Beam, Giga Impact, what else is there like that? Hydro Cannon, Frenzy Plant, what was the fire type one? What was it called again? Like, nobody used those moves, because they're awful, except for, like, Hyper Beam and Gen 1 Pokemon. Because the shit was bugged back then, and didn't have a recharge turn after. Wait, there's also Rock Wrecker, the fire type one. Right? Or like, oh, Solar Beam, Solar Blade, you know? You gotta charge up first. Or the same thing, Meteor Beam's another one of those. Right, you gotta charge up first, or maybe like dig or dive, or fly, or bounce. Right, you gotta wait one turn, and then you can attack the next one. That's really what it sounds like to me. Yeah, there's a lot of choice involved there. When really it's either you have that on the character, or you have something else that's more basic. Okay, maybe you could have put like a poison or something. Wow.
As well as delaying the turn order, usually to the bottom of that rotation. When timed correctly, Weakness Break can buy your team a few critical actions before the enemy can make a move. That might be just what you need to either burst them down or prepare more effectively for a counterattack. Another factor that influences your combat capabilities is your technique, an activatable skill that can be cast in the overworld prior to entering battle. These are usually superficial buffs or debuffs, such as
that's basic stuff there.
Or granting a small shield ahead of time.
Symbol attacks is pretty standard for a lot of RPG games.
Of combat in Star Rail.
Where if you catch them off guard, you can go first.
Advantages and disadvantages.
Cool.
Curiously, there's no usage of items allowed during battle. You can only use
yeah, you know, items.
And I'm actually personally happy for that. I don't really like the idea of like farming mats to make like, you know, buffs and shit. It becomes very tedious. It makes me feel a lot weaker thinking that like, oh, I can't thrive in this environment unless I create like an extra special bonus food. I don't really like doing that at all. As an extra layer to the game that isn't really fun or interactive, it just feels kind of boring and mundane. So I'm okay with
the cool anime stuff. Pretty much, if you're a simp for the characters, that's all you get.
Needless to say,
right? It's just for the if you simp for the characters. That's what it look. That's what it sounds like to me.
If this guy unironically says this is how we make turn-based RPGs better and actually says something that's worth noting, I'm gonna be shocked because I'm sitting here thinking how could we make this any better, and I legit have no clue. Whereas like like a game for Genshin Impact, I know entirely how to make it better. For this, I have no idea how to make it
Oh,
better.
there's a lot of
For now,
ways.
maybe I were to ponder a little bit longer, but right now, it's so satisfying.
Scrap
that
their
I don't
entire
ever
battle
think about
system and
Very
restart
few
it.
ways for a player to
Start
express
over.
their own skill beyond the realm of
For me,
More younger
I
people are
understand
into
somebody else
anime,
doesn't
yeah.
enjoy it, but I'm saying this is for me. It's the only thing I can
Fair
say.
enough.
To avoid things becoming too repetitive, the most practical way to achieve this is by adding as many decisions a player can make as
Yeah.
possible.
That's very
more
true, but also
decisions.
brings in a lot of fatigue with
I don't
decision
think
making.
so.
Like, for example, Genshin Impact has a lot you can do, but that's also gotten very boring and very repetitive. And I think a lot of players would agree with that. That
No,
even,
that's just
even a game with
Genshin's
that much going
terribly
on, it does get
designed.
boring and repetitive. So it's like kind of like
With their
what
enemies and
is
everything.
live? How do you make a player enjoy
They're just big
a
bullet
combat style that
sponges
is more of the
that
same?
stall you
I
for
really
time.
think it comes down to mob structure rather than character structure. Because I feel like the way that you play around certain mobs is always
Yeah.
way more exciting than understanding what a character can do, because overexposure.
Imagine a world though if COVID didn't
Whereas, like,
happen, they wouldn't
overexposure
have
for
had that
specific enemies is
success.
generally very low.
And the way to do
It would have
that
been
without
really cool.
overcomplicating or
Like,
overbloating
you
Like,
can
even the
imagine a
most complicated
parallel
games,
universe
World of
out there
Warcraft or, like, Black Knight
where
Online,
where
like,
COVID
it's
never
very hard to make
happened.
something always
They never would have had the
constant.
success they had.
things
At
is
least
by
to the scale they've
compartmentalizing
had,
the game's battle
that
system
never
into
would have
different classes,
happened.
then constructing available actions around them, ideally as many as you can. For Star Rail, Hoyle aced the first half of the equation. They made 7 paths, each based on a specific facet of the game's combat. Destruction is your all-purpose attack and defense-oriented fighter, capable of dealing and withstanding blows in equal measure. Hunt is your single-target DPS path, characters best suited for fighting elite enemies or bosses. Erudition is your multi-target path, designed for
I
fighting
mean, the
groups of
problem
enemies,
is what
harmony,
happens when
and
other
ability
things
or
start
buffing and
copying them.
healing, respectively.
That's the
Preservation is on
problem.
defense, shields, drawing aggro, standard tank fare, and finally
Yeah.
abundance is based on healing. They did a competent job distinguishing one path from another, and from the initial
I think the
roster
problem though
units
is like
so far, they're
what
adhering to
happens
the
when
class
we end up with
designation
like
made
more of
clear.
them.
For example,
Like, I
I've
wouldn't
seen
want
that
another
perform
game
well
like
even against
Genshin. I wouldn't
lower
want
enemies
one.
despite being
I
AoE.
wouldn't want another
Choosing
Star
just
Rail or
elite
whatever.
harmony and
I wouldn't
preservation or
want
abundance to
more.
back her up.
Right? I
Provided
wouldn't want to see
I
more.
wouldn't say in
No
desperate
thanks.
need, but I would say she does get great benefit. Yes, Zila needs a healer, as does every unit in the game. I feel like that one's a little bit weird, but a buffer for Zila is very pog. I don't think you need Tingyun and Bronya. I would just say just Bronya. Bronya Zila's nuts, but I wouldn't say like,
The
oh, this
poison
character needs a healer.
sex.
That's their weakness. Every character needs that.
They don't break their own rules. That allows for a wide variety of characters, as stated before. And that's before we even count the elemental system and its own function.
Not trying to be a contrarian to anything this guy is saying. I'm just saying.
And that's
this
why they
guy's
went crazy. Yeah, people don't want.
saying that that's wrong, but
People who actually want to play a game, they don't want another Genshin.
Gameplay, however,
Nobody
is the
wants
second
one.
half of the equation.
Right?
Constructing
Nobody
as
freaking
many
wants
available actions
Genshin.
the player can take as possible. You
The people
really
wanna
have
actually
good
play
things
a
you can do per
game.
Character, technically too, as ultimates can't be used every single turn for every character, no matter how much energy regeneration you have.
well, then also technically
Yeah,
one,
that's
because then what do you have
standard
any skill
fare
points?
for
The inability
these
to
types
use
of
any
games.
other actions, even so much as
Yeah,
using
you can't
items,
spam your
limits the
ultimate.
number of options you can do on a single character. On its own, that wouldn't really be a bad thing if it were any other genre but turn-based combat. For an action RPG such as Genshin, characters also only have an attack, skill, and ultimate. The key difference is that the scope of combat includes a lot of other things, positioning,
Yeah.
timing, swapping between characters.
You have
and
none of
different
that in
stuff
Star Rail.
action games.
Yeah, but then you just press the shield button and all that shit goes away.
Technically, yes. The order in which you can
Yeah, that's just because Genshin has badly designed everything else too. Where you could just press a shield button and forget everything
It's not
exists.
like chess, where there's a timer preventing either.
It all depends on what your idea of stimulation is. Yes, I guess you can take as long as you want, but you have to understand, like, the entire... If a turn takes longer to decide what you're going to do, your brain is staying stimulated the entire time.
I mean, it depends on the
other games,
game.
you can press buttons the whole time. And
But
move
in
around
some
the whole bunch,
cases,
but
yes.
The reality is that, like, when a turn takes longer, that means it's more fun.
Other player from overly delaying the match. In other words, the pressure of time, which is present
It
in
really
Genshin
just
and
depends on the
makes
game.
combat so
They've had
engaging,
some
is
cool
not
and
present
interesting
in
games
Stone.
here and there.
I would
Right.
highly disagree with saying...
And then they have a lot of them that just get heavily overshadowed and end up very heavily underrated compared to the other shit that gets shoved down your throat. Unfortunately.
You walk up with your Kazuha, you suck him in, you put him down, you put Zhangling alt down, you walk around, they all die, right? I don't like putting that as on such a pedestal, like above Honkai Star Rail's combat. They're just different genres, right?
Also, given the fact that, you know, you can dodge attacks. Putting it bluntly, Star Rail's
For for example, like I have a chat room. Chat, do 3 if you enjoy Honkai Star Rail's combat system more, or 4 if you enjoy Genshin. So as you can see, there's a lot of 3s, there's a lot of 4s, It's a
I
very
would put neither.
controversial, objective opinion, and it being stated, or it's a very subjective opinion, and presenting that as objective is very dangerous, right? Like saying, "Oh, Genshin's combat is legit just better," and that is a fact, is very dangerous. So I feel it's a lot more than you might think.
It has potential, but it's just bad with how they handle everything.
Extremely digestible for any player, regardless of if they've been engaged
Especially because of how it doesn't help that it's also just very slow as well.
Also contributes to that thought process by taking into account mobile gamers not being as hardcore of a demographic and therefore appreciating
It's somehow making you want to like it more. Oh,
I would say that's fair. I would say mobile gamers aren't as hardcore as MMO players. Like,
yeah,
the concept
that is
of
fair.
grinding 14 hours a day for an MMO player is like normal, whereas the concept of grinding for 15 minutes a day for a mobile gamer is like, what the f, right? So, yeah, I would agree.
They say that, but then you have people playing like 20 mobile games at once, and they have to grind it like a full-time job. So I don't really think what he says fully applies there. Because you have a lot of people like that. They're like, I'll play this one, I'll play this one, I'll play this one, I'll play this one, I'll play this one all at once. And then everything piles up.
A number of players have already brought to attention the likelihood of players growing tired of the game within a few months.
I grew tired of Star Rail in less than a day.
If you make it dynamic with a lot of thought put into strategy and team building, but with almost no variety in actions either.
Yeah, there's no variety in actions. Exactly, that's one of the things I've said.
Rotation, the vast majority of your combat experience in Star Rail goes as follows. Use your skill if you have skill points. If you don't, use your basic attack. Then use your ultimate whenever it's available or strategical. That's
because there's
it. That's really
like Natasha, where you pretty much always never want to use your skill points because you want to save them for specific characters, as well as like I don't know, maybe it's because I have a Bronya and a Zilla that the combat feels a lot more in depth than that, but I feel like that's oversimplification, kind of underselling the game.
For most DPS characters, their skill is usually a basic attack that either deals more damage than their basic attack, attacks multiple enemies, or applies a status effect of some kind. Even for those who have skills that do something else, the range of use cases doesn't scope out very far. For example, Bronya's ability to shuttle any character to act immediately is advantageous for this kind of gameplay, but that's the only thing she does. Details can be nitpicked here and there, but broadly speaking,
What? What do you mean that that's the only thing she does? Like,
but that sounds like exactly like it.
What do you mean by that? That's like such like a. Do you even play the game? Like, holy. Even the way he's delivering it is so if so facto. Like, bro, what the f does that even mean? I can say that.
No, it means exactly what he says he means.
It's always gonna sound stupid. All Kazuha does is suck things up. All
Wait, what was the chat saying? It was going faster. I want to see what they were saying.
What does that even mean? I can say that about any character ever, and it.
Any clip about HSR, but never played the game. No, I wanted to feel like the CC wanted more from HSR.
It's always gonna sound.
And would you play the game, bro?
Stupid. All Kazuha does is suck things up.
Yeah, his chat plays. Obviously.
All your thing your mom's mouth does is suck things up. All Azila does is hit things hard.
Yep. I mean, that's exactly what it sounds like.
All Bronya does is just make people go again. She has a shoot where it always crit damage hits. It always crit strikes, which makes it very exciting for like building her because you only need crit damage. The ability lets people go again as well get a buff, and when you pair that with Zila, you can turn that 1-turn buff into a 4-turn buff, as well as she has an AoE attack buff, which you always want to use before every other single characters, and like the turn positioning, the turn ordering, like she's a lot more than just make somebody
turn positioning, turn ordering. Does that even matter?
Potential problems. First, by being a one-trick pony, it leaves almost no room for compromise in comparison.
Yeah, that's exactly what they all are.
Turn-based combat is a game all about numbers and stats. Everything can be calculated down with no variation besides crit chance. By that logic, the only real thing separating Seela from Yanqing or Jingyuan from Himeko is that the former two deal more damage per turn on average than the latter two. Simple as that.
Okay, yeah. One does more damage, it sounds about right.
You literally think the only difference in Zila and Yanqing is that one does more damage? There's so much more complexity.
Okay, where's the complexity?
Bro.
Where's the complexity?
Yang has very high roll potential with like the follow-up attack procs. Even building him is very exciting because it's low crit rate, high crit damage because due to the fact of the soulbind sync process. The fact that you have to protect Yang Jing at all.
So it's just putting more stats? Okay. It's how you put your stats on them, that's where it changes. That's basically what he's saying.
4-turn combo with Ting Yun or Bronya, either one works to be honest. Bro, one gets a buff from killing an enemy, that way they can go again. The other one doesn't. Like, bro, what the f is this a Bro, holy shit, what?
You can't make the claim that one is more fun to use than the other because
Yeah, you just don't do the same thing.
there are no mechanics involved. It's just
Yeah.
What the f does that even mean? Yes, you can? Oh, sorry. Let's keep going.
pressing Q, E, and R. And also the second problem. You don't get a whole lot of nuance and strategy, making repeat playthroughs feel more tedious and monotonous in a game where you're expected to do things multiple times. Conveniently, we do have auto battle to make the gameplay itself for any busy work, but at that point we're not even playing the game.
Exactly.
One of the ways developers try to
I think having a strategy where you don't have to play the game to still progress is very good for casual players, because having to do your daily grind manually is very irritating. I'm sure every single World of Warcraft player would...
No. If they have to put it in there, then they shouldn't put that in the game. They shouldn't have the daily grind then. If it's this bad, then just remove it from the game. You're just making it worse by having it there. Who cares if you... You know what? If they're gonna even put it there, just put an instant clear button. No, you have to just sit there and wait through the animations, because we gotta stall out for time. That's really what it feels like. It's not the same thing. I have no idea.
Would agree
I have no idea.
Have the ability to just auto beat Mythic Plus dungeons of a level that they've already done before. They would 100% take that in order to remove the monotonous work. I don't think having to actively play every single game makes the game better at all. I also think
He's talking about Mythic Plus. Pretty sure they just give you a keystone based on the highest level you clear every week. And you can use someone else's keystone and upgrade that instead. What the hell is he talking about? Okay, I haven't played World of Warcraft in a couple of years, but when I first played, when they added Mythic Plus, I knew how it worked, because I did quite a bit of it. I remember getting to like Mythic Plus 15 back in Legion. So like, I don't think he actually knows how the system worked. Like, I got to like Mythic Plus 15 before, in Legion, before I quit, partway through it, because I got tired of the AP grind. But that's a different story. But I'm pretty sure I remember how Mythic Plus works. And I'd actually like to see more games bring a Mythic Plus mode, because I think it'd be fun. Like, it was pretty cool to mess around with all the different affixes in the content itself. And they would have more dungeons and stuff in the rotation and change them. I thought that was cool. And you would get your endlessly scaling content for the people who want it.
think that if you beat a raid and then WoW raid players could have the option to just beat it again and not have to show up every week and have the game feel less like a job, they would 1,000,000% take that at a certain point. I don't think active play equals make game better. I do think the usage of autoplay reduces a lot of the monotony in the game, and I really feel like that shouldn't be taken as a complete net negative, because there is a lot of benefit to having the game and to get rid of the grinding aspects, in my opinion.
Officially push the envelope.
Yeah, but putting an auto thing isn't the same thing as removing it either.
Heroes and blessings, they add a new layer of planning you have to take into consideration. Given success and failure heavily depends on what blessings you choose. So not only do you have to think about what party members to use, but what blessings and curios as well. Any solution is better than no solution, but in practice, this is purely a band-aid solution to support a flawed system. Doesn't matter how many things you try to design around the limited scope of combat when that scope doesn't change whatsoever. If anything, it only makes them more noticeable. The need to choose the right blessings stems from the fact that you can only do so much with your characters, forcing you to inject them full of extra stats or numbers to overcome that difficulty rather than tactical planning and execution. There is a
the tactical planning is what blessings you pick.
Reason the turn-based RPGs give players a wide selection of actions and complete.
What do you mean by the turn-based RPGs that do well? This is the highest net profiting turn-based game like ever made. Give this game 11 months past release and it will be the...
Isn't the highest profiting one still Pokemon? Right? Isn't Pokemon bigger than Disney right now?
The highest grossing turn-based RPG game of all time. Like, what are you talking about?
Freedom of actions.
I thought it was still Pokemon.
For a moment, what makes the game one of the best.
Though they've been around for over 20-something years.
Can do so many.
Like,
they've been around for over 25 years, but still.
Royale. That's P5R, right? So Sega reported the remastered edition of the game reached 1.7 million in global sales.
Yeah.
Honkai Star Rail made 102 million in 1 month. So 1.7 million times 60.
Oh boy. This guy is comparing a game you buy one time to something where you have to spend $400 to guarantee you get one copy of one character.
Alright, so Honkai Star Rail.
It's not the same comparison.
Made the exact same amount of profit. And Honkai Star Rail will continue to make profit. Like
just because they're making profit doesn't mean it's good.
Way, I feel like that's just a bad way, and I think we would all agree that's a bad way to gauge the success of a video game.
Yes, it's a bad way to gauge it.
Attacks, star powers, items, partners have a menu.
Oh yeah, Paper Mario. These ones were interesting.
The player can choose how they want to play the game, and through creativity and extensive knowledge, you can pull off really fun stuff like taking down Bonetail, the second hardest boss in the game, before even completing Chapter 1. In Persona 5, you can use melee attacks.
Yeah, for sure, they're out of their minds.
Tactics, choose from an assortment of personas.
I mean, that's what it sounds like most of the player base for Hoyoverse games are too. They're out of their minds.
It does sound like you can do a lot, but it's an illusion of choice. At
No.
the end of the day, Persona 5 games, which, by the way, I 100% completed Persona 4. I got about 75% of the way through Persona 5, but I had to stop because my subathon ended. You're still just going to pick, oh, this is the best move, and then you're going to spam it, right? That's pretty much it, right? There are a lot of things that you could do, but you're just not. You're just going to pick the move that's the best, and then you're going to use the best move, and then you're...
Is that really how people do things? Right, you guys see me play Trails from Zero on stream. And the older people around here have seen me play the older Trails in the Trails games. Do I only pick the same thing? Or am I actually like actively looking on what the hell am I gonna do every turn? Because I'm pretty sure I never picked the same thing multiple times unless I was trying to cheese a mechanic to see if I could slow him down. Right, I wasn't just picking I'm only gonna use the best move every time. Because like that's not what I was doing. Right, you would see I was like actively going through, oh, what can I use this art? What's this one do? Or whatever. I was looking at the craft skills or whatever too. Yeah, the money for 1 minute character with one special skill. Don't worry. Spend $400 to get that, to maybe get that one character. You know what? What if you need multiple copies for it to work the way you want it to? Well, don't worry. Just another $400 for every extra copy. But you don't want that? No? And then this is where you get people spending like $2,000 plus just to unlock one character. Right, that's where you get that situation. It's not the same as a game where you buy it once and you have the game. It's not the same comparison.
You're going to keep using that best move until you get a new best move, and then you're never going to use the other.
Which is completely bullshit, because that's not what you do. You don't do that.
Best move again. So yeah, sure, right? You're just gonna pick whatever the best persona is, because the other reality is.
Okay, I never really played a Persona game, so I don't know. But for like a bunch of the other turn-based RPGs I played, I don't only just use the same one move every time it's my turn, right? Again, like I remember if people saw when I was playing what was it, Caligula 2 on stream, right? I was like really looking and planning around how the hell I'm gonna counter what's being thrown at me. Especially when I did stuff like do the final boss being like 15 levels under leveled because I was trying to outsmart it instead of grinding.
Persona 5 doesn't have like a relic system. It doesn't have a talent system. It doesn't have like what characters to build. Which
I don't know. I have no idea how the PS5 version's gonna get handled. I think that one's just like the pack is just a one-time thing to unlock whatever was in there, like the card and whatnot, but I'm not sure on all the details. All I know is they're separate from everyone else, unfortunately. So it is what it is there.
Which characters to swap? Like for Honkai Star Rail, I already have 14. For Persona 5, I think there's like 7 or 8. Right? Like there's a huge depth in roster, a huge
37 minutes of Karen's getting arrested.
Thing and, like, resource
Oh, that sounds like it'd be fun to watch.
How to make what characters work, when in reality, Persona 5 just becomes, oh, just pick the move that's the best.
As a 7, you can use tandem attacks, and once again, a variety of skills per character, not just one. It's near obligatory for turn-based combat to have that many options, otherwise the player plays through a cutscene mashing the A button until they either win or lose. That's exactly
what Star Rail is, mashing the A button until you win or lose.
Will do it for
Maybe you'll hit the B button.
Not only does this make the gameplay shallow, but one skill and ultimate isn't enough to clearly distinguish characters from one another. If another character who comes out can
What's
also
on
turn
YouTube
advantage
now?
of Grania,
Oh,
whichever
you're
character
on
can
YouTube
contribute
now, I
more
see.
to the team's overall rate of clearance will be infinitely.
Why are you acting like Genshin or Honkai Gearing isn't the most kiddie Mickey Mouse thing in the world? Because when you play as a free-to-play player, you have a lot less like options for like the shit that you do. Like,
well,
so
yeah.
for me, whenever I do Memory of Chaos, like having to swap around the artifacts and the relics, or like the light cones and the relics on each character, actually requires like a lot of thinking. So that's why it's a little bit different. I guess if you're like a spender or like a whale, then you might think it's very simple. But like when you have very limited resources, like you do when you're free to play, it's actually pretty complex.
Better than the other.
Complex,
Unless, for
you
some
mean?
reason, you care about the small bit of damage.
And it doesn't sound complex, just clicking a button to move your items around.
Can mitigate potential power creep, but I feel like that only really applies to damage dealers. You're not using Bronya or Bailu for their elemental affinity since you're not really using them to deal damage. Bailu can be a fire element for all it matters, and to repeat, that only addresses half of the problem. It does.
That's a fair point. There are a lot of characters that don't have elements. Like Natasha, doesn't really matter that she's physical. I mean, sometimes I've used it for her physical, but in reality, like the majority of the time I'm using Natasha is like heal, alt, heal, alt, heal, alt. That's fair. Same thing with Ting Yun. I don't think anybody gives a that Ting Yun is electric. Like just buff, doesn't really matter.
Doesn't do anything to remedy the fact that you can only choose from 2 or 3 actions that don't really do that much. It would be one thing to set actions had a lot of different layers to them, but like it.
What I'm really
They
confused
don't.
is we've gone 10
Yeah.
minutes in this video talking about all the things that
No, I'm with
he doesn't
Vars.
like, but I have not heard one suggestion the whole video. There is no reason to tear anything down when you cannot suggest an alternative. You can't say, change this. Change it to what? Well, I don't know. Just change it. Like, what are you suggesting that we do?
I said, skill.
Because to me, like, all the issues that you're listing are just things that come with the turn-based RPG genre. Like, even acting like Persona 5 was that complex. Like, Persona 4, P4G, P5R were so straightforward and simple. Like, Pokemon was so simple. Like, that is...
Yep, the thing is, calling Pokemon simple isn't exactly that fair either. If you're talking about, yes, the main story in the game, sure. But, like, if you were to go and do stuff like, I don't know, like the Battle Tower, or, like, play competitive Pokemon, you're gonna open up your own crazy can of worms on, what's good and what's not, and how you would build build up your Pokemon with how you distribute your stats, right? For what you're doing. Like, you have things like what? Like what? What's one of the more recent Pokemon that I know of, like, that's not used as simple as it sounds? Right? You had, like, the Gen 8 pseudo-legendary, like Dragapult, right? Like, I don't play it competitively, right? But, like, we look at the stats, right? It looks like you want him to be a physical attacker right here. Right? 120 base attack, right? 100 special attack, right? But, like, how do people end up using this thing, right? Ghost Dragon, so you're gonna give it some moves, right? Physical attacks. Okay, what you got here? You got Dragon Rush as a physical attack. You got Phantom Force, but Phantom Force is 2 turns, so you're not gonna use it. You got Dragon Darts. Right? This is what you got for physical. Okay, Dragon Darts is good because it hits twice, so it's basically 100 base power, but, like, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna use it that? I mean, what are your coverage moves? Okay, you at least get Psychic Fangs if you want psychic coverage. I don't know. But you got Will-O-Wisp, right? You got Substitute. You got some interesting things here. Yeah, Thunder Wave, right? But, like, what's your other ghost stabs, right? You get Draco Meteor. Okay, you can have Outrage, but you probably wouldn't use it. You get Hydro Pump, Fire Blast, Flamethrower. Like what? So like a lot of people, I'm pretty sure they don't use it as a physical attack. They opt for the weaker special attack stat, and they'll do things like, I don't know, they'll run stuff like Draco Meteor, right? But Shadow Ball is something for the stabs, or maybe they'll take like Will-O-Wisp, right? Will-O-Wisp or Thunder Wave, and then they'll use like Hex, because that doubles in power if they're status, right? And they have all sorts of other things, like, yeah, you also get U-Turn, right? U-Turn's there, right? There's a lot of choices on how you can mix and match. If you were to go play competitively, you're probably not going to find the same players, right? Using the same Pokemon, exactly the same. They're probably going to mix and match. Sometimes they'll build both of the stats or something, right? There's so many ways you can, like, this is just one Pokemon, for example. right? You can increase the stats on there with EVs, IVs, and natures. You can go for like, maybe I want more speed. Or maybe I want to really go hard on the special attack and I don't need the attack stat. And you'll get like a negative attack nature. Right? Like that's the thing people do. And that's just one Pokemon. They have like, there's like what, 1,010 Pokemon now? I know there's only like a bit over 500 that you can play in the current Scarlet and Violet because that's what's supported, but still.
The beauty
There's a
of the
lot of
game
choice
is in
there.
its simplicity.
Skills that deal damage are usually just more powerful versions.
Yeah, like saying that Paper Mario was intense was like, no, it's not. Like, okay, here's something that I think would be cool if they did. Not everybody would like this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. They could add in characters with certain abilities that when you use them require a quick time event in order to maximize the efficiency of the move. Let's
Yeah,
say,
that's
for
what they did in
example, you
Paper
use a
Mario.
certain ability, and then you want to tap the 7 icons in order, and if you do that, you get a bigger buff. And then when you do it on auto, it always gives you the 50% the average roll. You could do that, I guess, if you want to make it better. That sounds like a lot of work, but I guess you could do that, where each time you use a big move, you can click it a whole bunch, or like you can do the Paper Mario jump. When you use an ability, then you get to press
Wait, you've
A
seen something
to
similar
bounce on
before?
them as many times as possible.
Okay.
Sure, this is what your mom looks like last night. Anyways, like I guess you could do that.
You know, this is what
but
your mom
I don't
looks
really
like
know if
last
I need
night.
that.
Of the character's basic attack. Even if power creep somehow doesn't happen, gameplay fatigue most definitely will, unless Hoyo decides to give everyone more actions. Honestly, even allowing the usage of items in combat would be nice. Any additional layer of options that can add more.
The gameplay fatigue will be not as bad due to the fact that you don't really need to do it as much as you possibly think.
Yeah, you don't need to play it.
Like
The game
amount
will
of
play
times that
itself.
you're actually playing
You just
it
sit
is
there
very
and
cool
waiting
because
it.
This game is majorly story based, so it is much different. You would only get fatigued if you're forced to do it a lot, but you're really not. Like even now, I spend the past.
I don't
5
know, I'm
hours on
forced to
stream
watch the
just walking
animations a
around in
lot.
museum, right? So yeah, I don't really.
But
think
he says it's story based, but that's the part where you're forced to watch the animations for 10 years. So where's his argument there? It gets very tedious watching the same animation slowly, you know, constantly, repetitively as well. The same boring animation, like 10,000 times, that you can't skip or fast forward because it's a story portion. They don't give it to you there.
there will be that much combat fatigue, more so than any other game.
More nuance in strategy.
Leo
In a
said
way,
things like 20 subscribers in the last 3 months for a channel is way too much to have inactivate and spam accounts.
The problem that Genshin does. Genshin's combat has an excellent structure. The number of possibilities
I guess
for its
so.
combat stretches beyond what anyone can fathom, but it wasn't very well executed. There's no real distinction between elements and weapon types. Meanwhile, 99% of the game's combat is a DPS race. Star Rail's combat was more well thought out. Elements carry more equity in combat thanks to weakness break, and path designations ensure that Hoyo won't accidentally.
It shocks me how right he is about the Genshin complaints, and then how incorrect, in my opinion, he is about the Honkai takes. It's very interesting.
Release a Bennett or Shinto who's tank, support, and DPS all in one. But they've left no room for expression or possibility, increasing the risk of units cannibalizing each other and players getting bored of the game because the extent of strategy is what kind of elemental damage you need. That's it. Hoyoverse bravely underestimated.
That's it.
Do I think Honkai Star Rail has the ability to just completely power creep units? Yes, I would agree. There
Oh
is
yeah, for
potential
sure.
for
Just
units
give
to
them bigger
straight up
numbers.
power creep.
They're
That
gonna
is
do
an
it.
issue that does happen a lot in gacha games. That is just a thing that happens. It will be very hard to just make new units with new roles all the time. It will be difficult. Is there a way to fix that? I don't know. Like, let's be real. I mean, like, almost every single game that's turn-based RPG does have power creep. Like, there are characters in P5R who are just strictly better than Morgana. You know, Charizard is, like, strictly better than some fire Pokemon. You know, that goes with the base stats, right? Like, a Rayquaza will always be better than a Diglett. I don't know how they would fix that issue at all. I really don't.
Estimates just how important option select is for turn-based combat. I understand they were trying to
I think the problem with this video that I'm having is it's presenting a lot of issues that exist in gaming as a whole as a exclusive thing for only Honkai Star Rail. When it's just like, no, it's not. Like, this is an issue that exists in all games. So I
think it's more of it's just worse than Star Rail.
Like all games rather than this one specifically, because I feel like this one executes the combat system and character development quite well.
replicate Genshin's experience from weapons to talents to attacks and everything, but the constraints for each game changes everything. Genshin's combat is sustainable because it lacks substance, which can easily be fixed. Star Rail's combat
Genshin's combat is sustainable. Say that one more time.
is sustainable because it lacks substance, which can easily be fixed. Star Rail's combat
Genshin's combat cannot be fixed because the devs themselves said they're not going to fix it. So no,
It could if they
that's
tried,
just not true.
but they're not doing
the
it.
Devs themselves said
They don't want to.
is
They're just gonna design crappier
also
characters.
just said Genshin's combat is good because it's bad.
have to think
Could
they
because
need
it's
to give
bad.
every character 50 actions. No, but they sure as hell should give them more than one. The absence of micro
Yeah, more than one.
means that mastery over the game, which is a driving force of satisfaction for players, is entirely based on macro mechanics, the planning and strategizing part of the game, which there isn't much of in Star Rail at the current moment.
Let me tell you the real base for strategy and telling who's good at the game and who's not. I play my account. I was able to get 3-star all the way to Memory of Chaos.
I don't know what
got
that is,
12
but
stars
whatever.
on stages. I
Means
did that in
nothing to
about
me.
40 to 50 minutes. I gave my buddy Valen my account. He was able to get 1 star on stage 1 after 3 hours. So there is a lot of nuances and there is a lot of micro decision makings that you have to do in order to increase how quickly you beat things by min-maxing DPS. Now, there is no way to say you're better than another player unless you play on the same account. Like, for example, let's say one streamer is on a specific stage, another streamer's on another stage. That doesn't mean that the other streamer is better. That just means they probably got luckier on relics and have more account diversity. Because the majority of Honkai Star Rail is account depth, relic depth. That is the majority of it. Like, do you have these units? Do you have them with this? Like, for example, I assure you I can go on anybody's account and play it as good as them, if not better. Because I am just good at turn-based combat games. That being said, I'm sure people can go on my account and do just as good as me, if not worse or better, besides Valen. I mean, he is a computer engineer, but that's different. But what I'm saying is that you can only know if someone is better or worse than you if you are playing on the same account, right? That's
Okay.
the big
Did they
difference.
spawn? I need to get my poison sacks again.
Unit selection,
I'm just grinding
whereas other
poisons.
games go as far as ability rotation,
Because I need them
attack
for the
There's
secret
also
pool.
ability rotation.
item usage, resource management,
There's also resource management.
and swapping party members in and out.
Okay, but those swapping units in and out also only have one character on the field at the same time.
The list goes on.
And that's not true.
It does
That's
not go on and on.
swapping characters in and out only has one character on the field at a time. Maybe only for Pokemon in singles, but in doubles, you got 2 at a time, which thing. But then you have other games where you have even more than that. I think I remember I saw one game had like 6 on the field at once.
In Star Rail, it's
For a
incredibly
turn-based
stretched,
RPG.
only going as far as
But then you have games like Fire Emblem as well,
Here we go.
which it is turn-based. There's a bit more tactic
there
stuff
is the
in there.
possibility that Hoyo can expand
But
on
yeah.
systems, introduce new mechanics, or things like that, but
Tell me how the other RPGs are so different. Tell me how the other ones are so different.
from what we can empirically gather from Genshin, that doesn't seem to be the case, for now anyway. So
The thing that really confuses me is just like this dude said he liked turn-based RPGs at the beginning of the video, but it really doesn't seem like that.
the idea of
Should I make my own version of this video then? Of like why I don't like Star Rail and shit? And then like actually just put comparisons to actual good turn-based RPGs then? Just recently YouTube stopped playing with his sub numbers. Very suspicious, yeah.
oh, just because it's not in the game right now doesn't mean they won't add it later, has had no
Because the other thing is this, like, for these other games like Thousand Year Door and these other games like P5R, how long did you play them versus how long did you play Honkai Star Rail? The reason why Honkai Star Rail could, quote unquote, feel more dull than those other games is because Paper Mario Thousand Year Door can be beaten in 2 days. P5R can be beaten in 4 days. Honkai Star Rail, you're going to play for months. So yes, the overexposure to the
Play
content
for
is
bots. I only
let it
played for
roll,
8 hours and
but
quit.
That doesn't mean that it is dull.
evidence proving it up until this point, which is why I'm making a big deal out of it now. In theory, the developers can implement more layers and dimensionality to Star Rail's combat, but historically, Have they? No, they haven't. So until proven otherwise, I'm pretty confident that Star Wars gameplay will be this and only this hereafter. To reiterate, I'm not implying their combat system is bad. I like it quite a lot and find it enjoyable.
Are you sure that's what you said? Because that is not what it sounded like you said at all. That is not what it sounded like at all. At all. But, okay, I feel like I'm getting gaslit like this Twitch stab, bro. I mean, if you're sure you like it, like, sure, but damn, it did not sound like that shit, homie. But I'll trust you, dog.
I'm merely stating that its lack of depth can come to bite it back in the future after the honeymoon phase novelty of the game wears off and players become more aware of the faults and shortcomings of the game. With no overworld exploration, 90% of the game's experience hinges on a combat system that lets you use only 2 action commands or the occasional third, and you do this over and over and over again since you can't do anything else. I'm trying to be optimistic about things, but unless they plan to add an expansion...
Yeah, Pokemon needs to change its system, otherwise it's gonna flop. Like, Pokemon's been the same game for 35 years, and when people catch on, like, that series is gonna...
What? Pokemon's not a fair comparison. Yeah, like, this guy is trying to compare it to Pokemon, but that's not the case. Well, yeah, like, there's even, like, a thing called 4 move slot syndrome on Pokemon, because there's so many things some Pokemon want to use, but they can't have everything at once, because you have to pick and choose which 4 moves you want. Right, like, when we looked at Dragapult earlier, right, we looked at the one Pokemon, this one. We already went over, like, how many things you can do with this. Oh, congrats on getting your, Fenrir, A3. Congrats on getting that, though, J-Noel. Right, but, like, we looked at this thing. We already saw, like, how you could use this thing. Like, you could be, like, mixed attacker because it doesn't get any good physical ghost moves. Right? But you get, like, a lot of really crazy coverage moves, like... You get stuff like, oh, you even get Surf, right? Surf, Flamethrower, Hydro Pump, Fire Blast, right? Yeah, Solar Beam and Thunder for weather, right? Terra Blast, whatever, everything gets that. But like, we were looking at just this one Pokemon. There's so many ways you could even just use this one thing, right? And you can't fit all of that into one move, into 4 move slots. Right, you have to pick 4. Any 4 of whatever you see here is what you can do, and that's it. Right? And then you still have 5 other Pokemon if you're playing singles 6v6. Or like, same thing for doubles, but like, even more stuff opens up for doubles. So like, no, Tectone he's just spouting bullshit there.
Gonna flop, dude.
...to where everyone unlocks a new skill at level 90 or more layers of combat are added, I'm very worried about the long-term enjoyability of Star Rail.
New combat systems will be added. Okay, there's gonna be new enemies, new archetypes. There's a new simulated universe coming. There's new planets coming. There's new zones coming. Kafka is going to introduce new team comps like dot teams. There will be different ways to play the game.
Doesn't matter how many new characters they pump out, if the gameplay doesn't evolve past what it is now, I don't think Star Rail will retain its popularity.
Okay, then how do you change it?
And this is coming from someone who really likes turn-based combat.
Okay, so then how do you change it? How do you fix it?
I wanted to hold off on making my usual critical content on Star Rail since the game just came out, but I couldn't ignore this one. Never did I imagine I would criticize the game for doing too little. Usually the problem is that the game is too complex or too overloaded. On the bright side, it's easier to add new things than to take stuff away, so who knows, maybe Hoyle will manage to surprise us. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Let me know your thoughts on Star Rail's combat in the comments down below if you agree.
That being said, you could make the argument that characters are not content. That's very true. But
yeah, characters are not content for sure.
Like Yukong, which is coming for free, and Luca, who's a
why am I not getting any pufferfish? What the hell? Why aren't there any pufferfish spotting?
If you enjoyed the video, it would be great if you could leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Vars.
Why aren't they getting any pufferfish?
I'm so confused. Really
there we go, pufferfish. Finally.
Items.
That's what I was looking for.
Enemy stats. You can already scan enemy stats. You can already guard, but only specific characters have guards. And you can also use items before combat. The fact that most turn-based RPGs still haven't constant SMT's press turn system is mind-boggling. It's the most fun system of any game I've ever played, period. I've never played Shin Megami Tensei. Maybe it's completely different. Without elemental reaction system, you can definitely see how much more bare bones the presence of the few active combat abilities, skill, normal attack, ultimate. Gears may have only had enemy system. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Honkai Star Rail dick rider. I really don't think the combat system is actually that bad. Am I riding the game's dick too hard?
Yes, you are, Tectone.
Do I think that more things being added to it will be good? Yeah, to some degree, but I don't think it's like really that desperate for it. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. God, that is just such a confusing video to me, man. Jesus, my opinion.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to Deep Spring Island. Oh, here, don't worry. There we go. Oh, you want to see 37 minutes of Karens getting arrested? I investigate a city where every drug is legal? What the hell? Wait, no, I want to see this one. 7 minutes of Karens getting arrested. That one sounds like it'd be interesting. Okay, wait. We gotta do this. Wait, no, I want to see this one. 7 minutes of Karens getting arrested. That one sounds like it'd be interesting. Wait, nope. I see myself here. Wait. Oh, we won't get it endless, though. We gotta do this. Wait, no, I want to see this. Wait, no. Here's what we have to do. Now we can see myself. Get repeated multiple times. Eventually, when it works. Wait for it. Eventually, when it works. I just because I realized I paused it. There. And then it's gonna keep going. Wait for it. Eventually. Who asked? Works. I just because I realized I paused it. There. And then it's gonna keep going. Wait for it. Eventually. Who asked? Works. But yeah, there you go. I realized I paused it. There. And then it's gonna keep going. Wait for it. Who asked? But there we go. We get to look at myself. As cool as that thing, you're reacting to the shit there. They want you to consume what? Oh yeah, the old Panini video there, the one from 2 weeks ago. They want you to consume what? Anything else that's new? This new event will ruin my free-to-play account forever? What?
Alright. This event is live, I think. Time to be free-to-play ++. It's called Project Nova. And then, Region, NA, Revereton, confirm. Alright. So, share the event every day, log into the game every day. Obtain weekly activity points.
Wait, where'd he get this? Wait, where is
One
this?
time. Associate Nova. Both Supporter and Nova are eligible to receive rewards in this event. Supporters will receive a certain number of rewards after completing specified...
Wait, is that already in the game? I don't see it in the thing here. Oh, we have to go to the website for it? What the hell? They didn't put it in the game. Wait, when did this thing start? Usually they put it in the game, so I don't have to deal with that. What even is the rewards here?
By doing so, the Nova will receive a certain number of dark crystals as well. If a supporter makes purchases, this action will also be deemed as supporting the associated Nova, allowing the Nova to receive a Tanium reward equal to 10% of the purchase amount made by the supporter. Holy shit. Time to get free-to-play Tanium. Alright. Become Nova. Register. Nova is an influencer among the Wanderers, a person who is willing to share and help other people. After becoming a Nova, you can receive a certain portion of Dark Crystals or Tanium as rewards from the support of Wanderers who have associated themselves with you. Your Wanderer information will be used by default upon registration, and rewards will be issued to this Wanderer. Registration ends in 9 days, guys. You gotta provide links to your YouTube, your Twitch, whatever the fuck. You gotta be a
Okay,
content
register.
creator, I guess, to get the benefits. Here we go. There's my socials. Let me see. Where's my YouTube? There we go. Let's
Okay.
see. Submit. Congratulations on becoming a Nova. Wait. Keck, wait. Wait, what? We're in, boys. Here we go. There's
Okay.
my link. There's my ID. Easy clap. Freetanium. Wanderers who create an account after the event begins and reach Wanderer level 18. 300 per person. Wanderers who have reached Wanderer level 30 or above but haven't logged into the game 7 days before the event starts. 300 per person. Other Wanderers who successfully associated 30 Tanium per person. 10% of the purchase Tanium. 10%. 10%. Every time you top up 6480, I will be getting 648. You should get my Tanium tomorrow then. Oh god. Bruh, my free-to-play account is getting ruined the
Okay, wait, I need to get on this then. I need to get on this. I'll have to set this thing up. What makes me provide links? Okay. I'm filling it up right now. They want me to provide links to my stuff. Okay, I got lots of stuff to put in there then. First my YouTube channel. Is it not say still? Okay, yeah. And then we have the next one. Kick. Why is Tectone mentioned on a Gates video? Shouldn't that be Gates information? Yeah, YouTube is broken right now. Don't ask me why it's broken. That is very bizarre. That happens like all the time. I see it like happen all the time. Wait, what was my Kick channel link? Okay, it's just like this. Okay. And submit. Okay. When you receive registration information, please wait in the results screen. Registration has been submitted. And then I just have to wait. Right, I just need to wait for them to let me in. It says about 1 to 2 business days. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. I just need to wait for them to let me in.
Is actually getting ruined after this. I don't think there's a limit, guys. There's a support status right here. We have people already associating themselves. Hey, look. There's 7
you got his
people
within
already.
hours.
Check by my free-to-play account. It's over. Can I associate myself? That's the real question. Let's see. Cannot associate yourself. So
I'm just waiting for my thing then.
They figured this out. You can't associate yourself. Well, I guess it's time. It's time to take a snapshot of the free-to-play. We have 73,710 dark crystals, 0 Tanium. Okay, so I guess what I'm gonna do with this account going forward is to just keep the Tanium balance. I guess only use Tanium on cosmetics. The DC, I don't know. We've been already keeping track of the DC anyways, right? Gamba all the fucking skins, and then keep the DC count and Tanium count low. So whatever we do get, we'll keep track. Right? I mean, I stream the free-to-play account. I don't even play this offline. Like, what's the fucking point? So everything will be there. There's VOD footage if you want to review it.
Okay.
The account's still gonna be free to play, obviously. I'm not gonna spend shit, but yeah, the Tanium that I do get for whoever wants to top up using this, I'll probably be sending cosmetics, like shit like this, you know. And then the only advantage I would get would probably just be, I don't know, extra pulls, a few extra gear. But yeah, this is pretty good. Associate yourself with me, all right?
So when I get mine, associate with me, please. Right? I'll put that in somewhere. Lan's mommy's coming? What? No damage, you're doing it wrong. Calling melody. Oh, here, Mingjing explanation. Okay, let's see Mingjing.
Hey guys, Gate here with another character review for the brand new, never before seen physical attacker Mingjing, who is basically just memory lost Zeke isekai'd into China with newfound powers from Xuanwu, or the Black Tortoise, one of the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellation representing the north. So for simplicity's sake, I will be calling him Zeke from here on out. And as usual, the translations of all the names of his kit are done by me, so expect global numbers to be cope and localization to be worse. Farewell, Phil. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe as usual so I can continue making videos like these. Weapon positioning. First and foremost, let's address the issue of weapon positioning that everyone is most concerned about. Looking back at all the weapons introduced in 3.0, Liu Huo and Yulan, they all have the ability to be main DPS while also being capable of off-field support, without being too specialized in either. Zeke is the same in this regard, with a balance of both DPS and support capabilities, which was the major trend in 3.0 weapons. Zeke has an extremely high on-field multiplier, and when paired with 2 support weapons, can deal decent damage. At the same time, he can also have a supported playstyle that leans more towards being a secondary DPS. In this mode, he primarily pairs with Gnono, where Gnono takes on the main DPS role, while Zeke spends less time on the field and focuses on.
I think I would rather use Gnono on field anyways as well.
Which of these 2 playstyles is more practical? To answer that, let's dive deeper into the weapon mechanics. The core mechanics of Zeke's weapon are in his skills. When we open the skill panel, it's like, when did the small essays in Tower of Fantasy turn into a whole thesis? But no worries, that's what I'm here for. When Zeke releases his skill, he absorbs nearby targets and deals 2,400% damage. Additionally, it increases physical damage by 30%. While using Zeke's weapon, he also gains Hyper Body within the totem. It's a functional skill that provides both damage, output, and buffs. Now, let's focus on the crucial part. After using the skill, a turtle totem is summoned in place. 4 pillars will appear around the totem, and every 0.6 seconds, these pillars will launch tracking black balls towards the character. When the balls touch enemy units, they deal 100% damage. Don't underestimate these balls, as their damage can surpass that of directly using the skill over time. At this point, the skill icon will refresh and transform into this crowbar looking thing without a cooldown. And no, Shocky mains, this does not trigger your reset. Our task here is to whack the balls back to the pillars by continuously spamming the skill, and illuminate the 4 pillars in the surrounding area. Once they are illuminated, the totem will be set, allowing Zeke to activate his Bankai mode, Selfless State. After the totem is set, we can enter the Selfless State by holding attack after dodging. It lasts for 25 seconds and enhances the next 3 basic attacks into an Execute. Execute can kill any non-boss unit and units with current HP less than 350,000 times Zeke's base attack, which means that regardless of how tough the mobs or elite monsters are, your daddy Zeke can still one-tap them. But what if the target is a boss or its HP exceeds the threshold? The skill description also got that covered. When encountering an enemy that cannot be killed, Execute transforms into a strike with 3,000% multiplier, with 3 strikes amounting to 9,000%. Since Selfless State has a built-in 200-second cooldown, it is not affected by external cooldown reduction or refresh. So it's crucial to make good use of this 9,000% multiplier in an actual combat. Make sure to stack buffs on the character, release it after the boss's shield is shattered, and time the burst well, or else the damage can be lost. As for the floors with mobs, you can start by using Selfless State to kill them off one by one, which will greatly improve both damage output and survivability. After using Execute 3 times, the character will automatically exit the Selfless State. Snakebite. After using the skill, Zeke automatically unleashes Snakebite on the unit with the highest HP hit.
Already who
Players
has
can
that
understand
too.
this as lifesteal. It deals 300% damage to the target and restores 12%
thanks
of
for the
Zeke's
follow,
HP.
Afterwards,
you can also use the last hit
he
of
has
the normal
lifesteal.
attack
That's
combo
really
and
nice.
the dodge attacks to unleash Snakebite. This move doesn't require deliberate activation, just understanding it is enough. After being hit by Snakebite, the target triggers Snake Chain, which is the mechanism for the next skill. Snake Chain. The Snake Chain can be thought of as soul damage, just like Fenrir's first skill, where a soul is summoned to deal double damage. The concept
he
of
has
the
the
Snake
same
Chain
thing.
here remains the same, except that the transfer damage is now reduced to 30% and the number of targets increases from 1 to 4, disappearing after leaving combat. It's important to note that this mechanic also applies when Zeke is switched to the background, which was one of the reasons why Zeke can serve as a sub DPS. The main DPS can still inflict damage through the Snake Chain, and the damage elemental type
So it's not
transfer
locked.
is
That's
the same
really
as that
nice.
of the foreground DPS weapon. Does this remind you of a rainbow team? Don't worry, we'll discuss that later.
Okay.
Actually,
You can use
this
them
mechanic
anywhere.
is not important at all, or you could even say it's not very useful. To put it simply, it counts the number of snake bites triggered, and damage is calculated as 35% multiplied by it, and dealt when Zeke's skill is cast the next time, while resetting the count.
Okay, Zeke
The
Alter
multiplier
sounds
is
like it'd
very
be
low
interesting.
and can be basically ignored. Finally, there's also an exclusive passive just like the 3.0 weapons. Huge multipliers, scales off of all your stats, even more multipliers when mixing elements, but cannot be buffed, setting a high damage floor. Zeke's is called Armor Break Let Go. After hitting a target with the skill, it causes a bleeding effect. It lasts for a whole 30 seconds, and in actual combat we can basically maximize this damage by just improving our overall stats. Weapon stars and pull suggestions. Let's start by discussing the stars at which the weapon can be used. Zeke can be used even at 0 stars, and both
That's
as a
nice.
main DPS and sub DPS.
I think sub
However,
DPS is
after
more
testing,
interesting.
Zeke performed better as a main DPS. Now, some may wonder if it's important to have Zeke at 1 star, since previously, weapons would undergo a drastic change from 0 to 1 star. So let's take a look at the effects of each star. At 1 star, Zeke's weapon adds an additional 100% damage after inflicting Grievous. Currently, this effect mainly benefits Gnono,
Yeah,
who
for sure.
actively applies Grievous frequently. For other weapon combinations, the improvement can be considered negligible. In situations where Gnono is paired, Gnono needs to be the main DPS to benefit from this star. After testing, this star only results in around a 10% increase in damage compared
That's
to
on
before.
CN, not
The
global.
cost effectiveness of the 1 star upgrade for this weapon is relatively low. At 3 stars, after using East Winds and hitting the target, it can additionally put enemy units within the area into a snake chain. Similar to the previous weapons, think Rubilia 3 star, it means speeding up activation but doesn't have any significant impact. Unfortunately, it's not a survivability effect, and Zeke's survivability at low stars still feel lacking. At 5 stars, there is an improvement in survivability. After casting his skill, damage taken is reduced by 10% or 20% in solo play for 30 seconds. Those with the funds and skill issues can consider this star. Finally, let's discuss the effect of the 6 star. When there is only 1 target remaining, the damage transferred by the snake chain is increased from 30% to 80%.
Okay, that's
This is a
insane.
visible improvement and greatly enhances Zeke's single target
Oh
capability.
yeah, that is. And then you can use them
Weapon
as a
team
sub
comps.
DPS too.
Zeke's weapon design is quite impressive. It not only provides high on-field capabilities, but also takes
Interesting. So once again, they're using Umi instead of Gnono. That is interesting. Right, this is interesting right here.
into the account effects from switching to the sub DPS role. A simple team can be formed with Fiona plus Zeke plus any other weapon. It is preferable to have a mono team for optimal performance. If Fiona is not available, alternatives like Claudia or Lynn are also viable options. Currently, Zeke is the best choice for the main DPS role, and other weapons should focus on providing damage boosts around Zeke. Now let's take a closer look at specific team comps. First, let's consider Zeke as the main DPS, paired with Gnono and Fiona as support. At the start, use the syringe on Zeke and then switch to Fiona and Gnono. After using their skills to provide buffs, you immediately switch out and back into Zeke while activating Maelstrom from Fiona. Zeke has a longer staying time on the field, so unless the
welcome,
enemy
Raiders.
is small mobs that can be
Welcome,
easily
Bro
killed,
TV.
it's not recommended to immediately
We're looking at
activate
Zeke
his
right
self-instinct.
now,
It is
because I'm
recommended to wait
curious.
for 1 rotation before activating it and make sure Zeke has all the buff stats.
But
After
welcome.
that, Zeke can focus on normal attacks while Gnono and Fiona provide intermittent buffs. All 3 weapons can be used even
thanks,
at 0
bruh.
stars, but in actual combat, Zeke will face noticeable survivability issues, so it's recommended to have at least 1 star in Gnono for the shield. Next, let's consider Gnono as the main DPS. Compared to Zeke
Wait, why is it on the bottom though?
as the main DPS, Gnono's survivability will be much better. However, as we saw earlier, there
Gnono's
is a
shield's
significant
great
damage
and nice.
difference at lower stars. Here, you can choose who to be the main DPS based on the actual combat situation. The third position remains Fiona. The rotation for this setup is similar to the previous one, but this time use the Syringe and Maelstrom skill on Gnono,
Oh yeah,
who will
Gnono,
have a longer staying time on the field. It's recommended to have both Zeke and Gnono at least
I wonder
1
how
star,
altered
with a
comp with
1-star
Zeke would
Gnono
play.
providing survivability
Altered Zeke.
and 1-star Zeke enhancing Gnono's main DPS capabilities. For the remaining weapons, Claudia and Umi, the strategy is the same. Use their skills and then switch out. Both a fully starred Claudia and a 3-star Umi can provide more damage than a 0-star Gnono supporting Zeke. Because the main DPS in physical teams tend to stay on the field for a long time when choosing support weapons, it's essential to select weapons with longer lasting buff effects, which makes short buff duration
I'm not
weapons
sure
like
about using
Tsubasa
Zeke as
ineffective.
main DPS because he's still
Rainbow
slow.
team comps. Lastly, let's discuss
Okay.
rainbow teams. Since
How about-
3.0, rainbow teams have risen in prominence. There is no absolute domination of mono teams over rainbow teams in terms of damage anymore at the low end of the meta. Here,
Yeah.
we will focus on 2 weapon combinations for demonstration purposes. The first combination consists of Liu Hu, Yulan, and Zeke, all 3 being 3.0 weapons. Players who
Okay.
tend to pull in every banner will have the advantage here. Without specifically stacking stats, this combination offers smooth rotation, simple gameplay, lower skill floor, and less survival pressure. At low star levels, this setup can be compared to a physical mono team. Liu Hu takes on the main DPS role, relying on the core passive of the 3.0 weapons. The gameplay involves using the skills of Yulan and Zeke whenever available, and then giving the longest field time to Liu Hu to trigger her passive. Players
Okay.
who have all the characters can give this combination a try. Generally, there won't be issues with damage in most content. The second combination is composed of Zeke, Yulan, and Fiona. The difference between Yulan and Zeke as the main DPS is not significant, so you can choose who takes the main DPS role based on the character's investment, with
Okay.
Fiona providing support in this team. After stacking buffs, Fiona can exit the field, and then you can use either Yulan or Zeke.
I
to
wonder
continue
though
the
how
DPS.
altered
The
will work.
rotation and gameplay
If
are
Zeke
similar.
can do altered damage with the snake chain. Because, like, it sounds like altered would be pretty interesting. On single target, you have A6 Zeke.
To the previous combination. Apart from the aforementioned teams, there are many other team compositions that can be incorporated into a rainbow team with Zeke. For example, Alice and Yulan can be paired with Zeke, or a team with double altered and Zeke can also work. The key is
Okay.
to follow the strategy of having 2 supports and 1 main DPS. Matrices. Zeke and the rest of the 3.0 matrices are all semi-bound matrices, meaning Zeke must be present in the team to trigger some of their effects. However, in the current version, starting a physical team with Zeke and obtaining these matrices is a viable long-term investment.
Yeah, I assume you really do need the 2-piece set at least for Zeke. After applying Snakebite, physical attack increased. This one's not as important, but the 2-piece sounds very important because it gives you another snake chain member.
Even at 0 stars, they provide an 18% physical attack and 28% final damage boost. In combat, Zeke's passive will continuously
This part is the more important one, right? Because especially when Global just gets rid of, like, nerfs all these numbers to shit. The fact that this one increases your snake chain members, that's gonna be a lot more
trigger the
impactful.
matrices without the need for deliberate stacking, making them quite good. Free-to-play players who don't have the resources to pull for limited matrices need not worry. Give 2-piece Samir, Shiro, or Crow to Zeke, and for the remaining 2
The 2-piece crow is worthless though.
supports, equip background matrices. In a physical team, a fully upgraded 2-piece Samir, Shiro, or Crow can completely compensate for the absence of a 0-star limited matrices. As for players who are willing to spend, they can bring any relevant matrices they have, such as Gnono matrices, Fiona matrices, Umi matrices, or Zeke's own matrices. For free-to-play players without limited matrices, they can consider using Scylla and Habola from the Gachapon machines in Miroria.
Yeah.
However, since we are already in 3.0, it is best to acquire some limited matrices to avoid a significant gap in character DPS. In conclusion, Zeke as the new powerhouse for the 3.0 physical team has all the core mechanics of the weapon on his skills. However, the majority of the damage still comes from his normal attacks. In combat, there's a significant delay between skills and normal attacks, and Zeke can be somewhat fragile without the 1-star Gnono. Zeke excels at clearing mob floors as he can instantly eliminate 3 enemies at the beginning, significantly reducing the pressure on survival and DPS. For new players, relying on the execute mechanic in the open world can also provide a great experience, and the overall cost of the team is relatively low. That's it for our physical daddy Zeke. If you have any questions, feel free to come over to my Twitch channel or
Yeah, zinc sounds really interesting. Okay. Wait, he's talking about calling Melody doing it wrong. Okay. Nothing else there. Alright, let's go back to the game then. Where is it? Here we go. We're back in here. Alright, we're just looking at it because yeah, I was curious, you know? I think I have enough materials, at least for the next few days. Yeah, I think I have enough for now. Oh yeah, I need to like grind a lot more materials. Ever since I put that in there. Let me get my ult back in here. So I can bring myself to the pyramid again. Because I have to grind. I need to get some more points from the Calling Melody event. Alright, I need to stack up a bit more. It is what it is. The ult's starting up. And that way I can also bring myself to the pyramid. Alright, my ult's about to open up. Just logging in there. I wonder how long it'll take for the other thing, the Project Nova thing. I'll have to see on that. Okay. Let me just mute the audio on my ult first. Crew. Let me invite myself over now. Alright, we can go back to playing the background music that I paused because we were looking at other videos. Alright, we were still at this one. Alright, we'll just have it play Valentine's Castle. Why is it taking a while to load? Alright, calling Melody, go. It's nice though to go in there with your ult because then you can make your ult just be one of the players that's just not doing anything. Makes it a lot easier. Hopefully it won't freeze or crash. Okay, it actually loads both of them. I don't know why I was having issues before. Okay. What do I need? Physical. Okay, we need a physical weapon. Give me a physical weapon! Oh, great. Someone grabbed the orb. Oh, there's another one over here. Alright, physical. Benediction and then ice shell. Okay, we need benediction. Oh wait, we have a benediction weapon. Can I move? There we go, ice shell. We need another ice shell. And then a flame weapon after. Alright, give me a flame weapon. Oh wait, we have Ruby. Okay, now we need physical and then attack. Thankfully we have physical right here. Right, there's a physical. I think we'll use the attack on the flame weapon. Just in case, because we get another flame weapon afterwards anyways. Yeah, we needed the other physical. Good thing I didn't use it on Umi. Alright, we need a fortitude weapon. Okay, here we go. We got our fortitude weapon. Right, now we need 2 volts. Oh no, we need a flame and a volt. There we go, we got our flame. Now we have Fenrir here too. Can it move, please? I hate how that thing slows you down. It's really annoying. Okay. Now we need 2 ice weapons. There we go, we have our other ice weapon. Now we need flame, volt, and then flame. Come on, give me a flame weapon. That's not a flame weapon. That's not it. It's RNG. Oh, full RNG. Oh well. And then I get a couple wins on my ult too. But it is what it is. Yeah, I have like no use for lost texts anymore. Machine cores don't have any value either. I mean, I'll grab these. Really, all that matters to me are getting the batteries every day. Right, that's what's more important to me. Oh, I almost forgot the main thing actually that I was doing in inners. Okay, I'm gonna go back and do the thing I was actually trying to do while I was grinding some of the stuff there earlier. Especially the swordfish. Because I do want those relic shards. Alright, let's load back in. But yeah, I do wonder though, how are they gonna change Zeke for global? Come on, dude. I do wonder. Mm-hmm. I went through the right one. I think. I don't know. Sometimes I just get lost here. This is the correct one, right? Okay, I did go down the right one. And then I have to kill more of them again, so I get the mini pelican shards again next week. It is what it is. Very annoying. Mm-hmm.